Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Roll20 Presents Waterdeep Dragon Hoist. I forget what episode this is. 5? I didn't look.
This is episode
before.
5.
Yes, I did it. I did it without thinking. I am your dungeon master, Floon Koble. I'm joined, of course, by
Overlay's weird.
8, who's also a Floon. Random Floon's Day. I'll fix it. I blame Dave's new green screen on that. Dave, your background is looking particularly invisible. You've joined Elf in the shadowy realm of shadows.
I don't normally have it up in case I
In the void.
Yeah. You've joined Elf in the shadowy void of shadows. So welcome, and hello, everybody. So I would like to just begin our little pre-show warm up by saying, "Curse you, Wizards of the Coast! Curse you and your addictive card games."
Yep.
I'll see you in hell, Richard Garfield. So I started playing Magic the Gathering Arena recently. Now, if you know me, if you are a person who has followed my content, you may have heard me talk before about I used to have a problem. I had a monkey on my back, and that monkey's name was mana. I played a lot of Magic the Gathering like 15 years ago, and then I stopped. I packed up my Magic cards. I sold them. I put the decks in storage. I seem to have fallen off the Magic wagon again, and man, it's great. I love it. I'm just right back into it.
Just indulge, just bathe in it.
It's so fun. It's a really well-designed card game, turns out.
Well, not only is it a really well-designed card game, Adam, but they've done lots of virtual, like, Magic online things before. And this is the first one that doesn't feel like an archaic shit.
Thank you. Yeah, like MTGO was not fun. And no other digital iteration of the game has ever been interesting to me, but I played this and I was like, oh, it's like Hearthstone, but like better.
But like Magic.
Because it's Magic. And I know how to play this, and I'm caught up. I figured out all the rules. I know what a Planeswalker does now, which I didn't know. There's a lot of stuff that's different from when Magic was out in the year 2004.
When you were but a young Magic wielder.
That's right, a young sorcerer. I've been playing that. It honestly feels like the return of all of the shit that I loved when I was a kid, right? I've been playing like very traditional CRPGs a lot of that. I'm playing Magic again. People care about Dungeons and Dragons. It's a whole thing. It's like, I'm glad I never stopped liking the things I liked when I was 15.
Played the same part of Pathfinder Kingmaker over again that I played already.
Yeah.
So
did you do that on stream?
I did. Yeah. Wow. I got to a point where I was like, I feel like I did all the management of the barony wrong. Like, I feel like every choice I made was terrible, and I feel like I didn't go back and check far enough, or I didn't do enough missions or whatever. And then I went, well, I could just start over. So I did.
How do we feel as players of games? How do we feel about that as a thing? Games that you can make the wrong decision, get to a point, and be like, oh, I can't win. I'm thinking XCOM, Banner Saga.
I hate it.
Here's the deal. I love it, but only when it is presented in such a way that I understand the decisions that I am making, and that the information is present for me to make or not make those decisions as I wish to risk.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So, I mean, I play a shit ton of XCOM. You made that as one of the examples. And the whole fun of that is like, well, fucked up, start over. Pretty much. Yeah. And I don't necessarily like it for this game. I think the Pathfinder Kingmaker is a fantastic video game. And its one flaw is that it doesn't tell you anything at all about anything.
And that's the trick, isn't it? Yeah. So Blue Jay, you're not a fan of the you've gotten this far, you put 20 hours into this game, because I know you had this problem. That's why Banner Saga was the other thing that I brought up. You got there and then it's like, nope.
My thing is it's like, yes, there's a bit of the you don't necessarily get broadcast the consequences of your actions, and I think that can be used with intention. But I feel like if I put 20 hours in a game and then I have to go back to square one or two because I fucked up and I don't and it wasn't just like a plot fuck up, it was a like mechanics fuck
yeah,
up.
I think there's two.
just
Yeah,
not
there's
gonna
two
play the
different. There's two different things there for sure. I remember the first time that I played Dark Souls, and I got to a point where I was like, oh, I have made some incredibly huge mistakes in the way I have built my character. I'm going to go back to the beginning and build a character that's more to my play style. And that felt like it was on me, not the game. And I felt okay about that. I was like, okay, yeah, that's fine. But
but isn't it the game's job to teach you how to build a character?
Well, it was more that I didn't.
Game.
It was more that I didn't understand. I didn't understand the choices that I was making because I hadn't played before. And I agree. Yeah. I think that, yeah, like that's the question, right? Is fluency, because there is that thing where you like, how much of a game should you be allowed to like mess about? And this reminds me of the Adventurers League stuff that we did. I loved how up until 5th level, you could just change your character. You could just be like, yeah you know what? I'm not having fun playing a fighter. I'm going to just be a paladin. Same character. I'm just going to change him. And that's my new guy. And that is, I like that. I like that like level of sort of allowance for learning your fluency with a game.
See, I think it also goes into expectation, right? Like a game expectation for whether or not it's going to teach you anything. I go into Dark Souls the first time and I'm like, well, it's not going to tell me anything. The whole point of this is that I'm going to die a shit ton of times. Whereas I go into Pathfinder Kingmaker being like, there should be a tutorial for what the hell I'm doing right now.
Okay, but there's a difference in I'm going to die a ton of times and I'm going to have to go back and start this entire fucking game over.
And that's
like, there is a difference.
I would also argue that in the case of Dark Souls, you're still learning from the fact that you died. Yeah. Like if you don't learn anything from what happened, then the game isn't teaching you. Like I also take the perspective like Blue Jay that a game is responsible for teaching you how to play the game. And if it doesn't teach people to enjoy it, you need to teach them how to do it.
I'm having some confusion about this. You're supposed to die in Dark Souls?
Get out of here, Dave.
Listen, Dave, I don't fucking die in Dark Souls now either. But
Dave _the_elitist.
What the fuck you want from me?
Yeah, you're so funny, Dave. So funny.
It's important, and the distinction I was going to make was whether or not the things that you had to repeat were plot elements in a story. Yeah, I think the distinction is made. I think we mentioned it.
Mechanic repetition versus plot repetition.
Yeah.
Because, well, like there's a path where like you get the bad ending. And that's fine. Like it happens. You repeat, like you choose, you make choices and you get the bad ending, and that's a way for the story to end, and that's fine. Like I'm fine with that. I'm fine with getting the bad ending.
Yes, agreed.
But
me too.
If I make mechanical choices to the point where like I am literally bashing my head against the wall because I multi-classed in a way I shouldn't have multi-classed and I cannot defeat this boss.
Like, right. Exactly. That inability to go backwards to say
that's what I don't like.
But here's the thing, right? Like I restarted because I could see on the horizon a series of things that was going to happen to me. It didn't happen because like I didn't play that far.
Yeah.
But I saw on the horizon a series of things that was going to happen to me because I had a bunch of shitty little towns that weren't generating enough build points that I couldn't put into quests, that I couldn't do, like all this other stuff.
Well, and that's the
eventually when I got to chapter 4 or whatever, and some asshole invaded, because of course they're gonna.
Yeah.
I was dead as hell. And
right.
and that it wasn't plot.
That's definitely the XCOM thing where you can be like, oh, if I had made a different decision 4 turns ago, I could pull myself out of this, but I might as well just stop because in 3 or 4 turns I'm doomed. Like I won't be able to win. Yeah, it's tough when that's paired up with like a different, more narrative style of play. And to your point, Blue Jay, I think it's pretty different when you're playing a game like the thing that I had a problem with Banner Saga 1 that got fixed in 2 and 3 was that there are times when, and this happens in every like tree-based decision like dialogue thing, where you're like, the game gives you a sort of general idea of what you're going to say, and it's like, say, like, rebuke him. Turn him away, give an unresponsive answer. And when you go rebuke, it's like, cool, you attack him with your sword. And I'm like, I did not want to do that. That is not like there's a really like clear one of those in one of the Witcher games where the option is like, tell him to leave, and then Geralt's like, fuck you, die. And you're like, whoa. whoa, overreaction there. So yeah, it's interesting. Like and again, I always come back to this is what I love about tabletop games is that if you try something and it fails, you can try other things instead. You can come at them a different way.
Yeah.
Right. Where you're like, cool, I tell him to leave me alone. And then I'm like, oh, the NPC, yeah, he gets really angry and annoyed. And you can be like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Like, we can still be friends. Let's work this out. But in a computer RPG, it's just like onward. There isn't usually
it's the best.
Which is
Fallout 4 was the worst, to the point where people just made mods that actually just said what the character says.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. I really enjoy an RPG where it says in the dialogue what my character is literally going to say word for word.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be very trying in a tabletop RPG where you're like, I say this to him. And I'm like, no, you don't. You said this instead.
Yeah.
Then he kills you with a sword. And you're like, but I was trying to say.
I would like to tell him gently no.
Yeah.
So you draw your dagger? No, you draw your dagger.
Yeah. I see you drawing your dagger. Okay. That's how I want it. But to be fair, some people like have played with GMs like that, where they're just like, I'm going to tell you what happens instead of you describing your character. That's bad. People at home, if your dungeon master is like that, if they're one of those, tell them Adam said stop it. And then tell them they can tweet at me and I'll tell them why. But yeah, it's tough. It's one of those things. And this has always been true since the days of yore, since the days of Eye of the Beholder. Like, tabletop RPGs are doing one very specific, cool thing that is near impossible to emulate with any other technology. And that's what's so fun about it. I think.
Definitely.
Where you're like, this has things in common with the tabletop RPGs I play, but
it's kind of interesting in a way. And here's just like my perspective on the PC versus tabletop thing going on is that in the computer game, I just load a quick save and then I do it again. And I load a quick save and I do it again. Yeah. If I die in tabletop, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
It's true. Yeah. There's got to be an RPG somewhere where every time you change your character, you just write out a whole new character sheet and then you can go back to an earlier character sheet. Somebody thought that would be a thing, and they definitely, I'm sure they designed it or hacked a version of D&D that does
if
that.
8 dies, you best believe I'm getting the Infinity Stones out, and we're doing it again. And I'm rolling the dice again.
And
I just thought you'd come back as like 7.
Yeah, right. 9.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Just work our way down the line.
Yeah. I heard and I might have shared this during Tomb. I heard an apocryphal story somebody posted on Twitter about they were like teaching their nephew or something to play Dungeons and Dragons, and their nephew made a character and they died to some bad rolls, and there was a moment where the person doing the teaching was like, oh, are they gonna cry? Like, are they gonna get upset? This was a little kid. They're like, are they gonna get upset? So the kid just was like, oh, my character's dead, grabbed a pen, wrote Junior after their character's name, looked at the GM, was like, I'm here to avenge my father's death. And I was just like, yep, you got it. That's how you played. Yep, that's it. This kid knows what's up.
That's amazing.
Like that's how Gary and Dave and them did it back in the day, right? It was you'd just be like, my character died. Cool. Well, I'm my character's cousin. And some characters never even had their own names. It was just like Dave's cousin. So it's
I think I actually did that in Chaos of Chaos.
Yeah. I think
when
so.
I was a little baby role player. But I thought it was original.
Yeah, Rolf. Yeah, Rolf. I think you went through several iterations.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like there is a bit of that you can do depending on the game. But honestly, like in a tabletop RPG, when my character dies, usually I'm like, well, that's a bummer, but guess what I get to do? Brand new character.
Yeah.
And that's fun. So yeah, cool. I don't know how we got started on this, but I've just been thinking about choice.
We did it.
Games.
We got there.
We did it. Lauren, your hair looks awesome. By the way. Yeah, looking good. I just noticed. I've been doing all the promo stuff, and I looked over. I was like, "Hey, you look different and great."
I have new hair. I took it from somewhere.
That's a good way to do it.
Opens up the character customization screen.
I'm a new character. Didn't you know?
Right. This is Lauren's cousin.
It's Lauren's cousin.
Shit.
New haircut. That's how you can tell.
Oh, I didn't even know, man. Well, so that's the great thing. Like, there's definitely a branch of sci-fi where that's just a normal thing that people can do, right? Like Down and Out in the Magic Kingdom or like Altered Carbon, where you're like, well, I'm dead. I guess I'll just throw my consciousness into another body and we're good to go. Yep, man, I'd like one of those. That'd be awesome. Alt character skins.
You're telling me.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Choir,
Yeah.
consider yourself preached to. Yeah. Well, let's get into the thing, because I think
Hoisting?
before we begin.
What are we hoisting?
That's right. Friday only here in Waterdeep. It's the semi-weekly Waterdeep Dragon Hoist. It's time to hoist that dragon. So today on Waterdeep Dragon Hoist, we're going to hoist let's hoist a gold dragon. We haven't hoisted any good guy dragons yet. So a gold dragon has donated itself to the cause today, and now demands to be hoisted. So gold, as we all know, is quite heavy. So let's get ready to hoist that dragon. Dave, that roll doesn't count because I didn't give you the DC yet. That's a warm up.
When you went into the prep thing, you're like, all right, everybody, let's.
I know. I saw you hit that button. That doesn't count. That's just 8 flexing his muscles. All right, let's say it's an athletics check. We're gonna hoist that dragon today on Dragon Hoist. Is gonna be a DC 15 to hoist the gold dragon.
Fail.
Now, Adam, here's the question.
Oh my God! No, Jules Barley out.
Wow!
I am so strong.
Oh,
So strong.
oh boy, Dave and Lauren both knocked out by an 8. So surprisingly, we've got a critical success from Makaria, and Rin, a 16, just barely able to hoist that dragon. Congratulations to the two of you. I'm not keeping track of how many hoistings were successful or not, it doesn't matter.
Oh, I have succeeded on 3 of them. I'm keeping track.
Nice,
For
good.
myself.
Good. It's that kind of
I
game.
on 2. I'm not sure.
I think this may be the first one I've succeeded.
But I just got so strong just for this moment.
I was gonna
Merkel
ask
help me out, man.
if I could get an assistance from my unseen servant on hoisting.
I don't think the dispel description says that it can help hoist. I don't think it's a hoist helper.
Well, it's like a menial task, right?
There is nothing menial about hoisting dragons.
They also have like a strength score of 2.
Yeah, they're not very
well,
helpful.
no, but what's great about this is even with a strength score of 1, it doesn't matter. You can give advantage.
Yeah.
That's the great thing. Yeah.
Even if it's just going like, yeah.
Anyway, my strength mod is -1, so.
Yeah, Makaria with that drunk strength, like just hurl that dragon over your shoulder.
It's because I was so mad at the dragon that I really needed to hoist it.
Well, it's the first good guy dragon, so of course you had to
angry.
throw it directly into the sun.
Yeah, that's true. This was a Team Rocket situation. That gold dragon just vanished. Though, and this is just Jeremy Crawford's Twitter approved. A fire immune dragon can indeed walk around on the surface of the sun.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, that is official.
Wow.
The sun is made of fire, and creatures that are immune to fire can
Sun's
walk
not made of
around on the
fire.
surface of the sun. Listen,
Question.
he specifically said nuclear fire from the sun is still fire. So
Question.
it would immediately die from the void of space, but whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I mean, right. It's all the other stuff would kill you, but
The fire would not.
But the fire.
but the sun does fire damage. So yeah.
The sun in this game, as we found out, super fucking weird. Made
Yeah.
of fire.
It's also got a solid surface.
Listen,
Evidently.
listen, okay? You cannot argue. I don't like anyone in chat or arguing in the comments that it doesn't count. You have to abide by the 4 holy texts of Dungeons and Dragons.
Here we go.
The Player's Handbook, the Dungeon Master's Guide, the Monster Manual, and Jeremy Crawford's Twitter account. That's the 4th core book. And it says right in there, the sun is made of fire. Okay.
What's amazing about this particular statement is the exact opposite that we have been doing for most of our whole career of this.
The sun is made of fire. All right. And that's how it is.
Cool. Got it.
Yeah. You can look it up on the Forgotten Realms wiki. The sun in the Forgotten Realms is a ball of fire. It says right there.
It does.
Yeah, giant ball of fire. We still don't know where it comes up, but yeah, that's how it goes.
Cool.
Well, let's hope that this adventure, that'd be a weird turn. Like today on Waterdeep Dragon Heist, you have to go to the surface of the sun and retrieve, I don't
dragon,
know. Yeah. Fazul Chambrel's mustache.
A gold dragon that we threw.
Right, exactly. That gold dragon you
It was
hurled.
a very important dragon, and I don't know.
Yeah.
But right now we have to go retrieve a monk or something.
Maybe.
Go
So you're still in and amidst the streets of Waterdeep. You have just been introduced to the Blackstaff, and she kind of tenuously offered a potential alliance between the Grey Hands, her organization, kind of her adventurers association, and you. But it was less. It's less like aggressive or less friendly than some of the other invitations you've received. Right? There are chances to work with the Lord's Alliance, which I believe everybody just kind of like poo-pooed right away.
The Lord's Alliance.
The Zentarum, who
we were headed back to report into.
Yeah, and that was my question, was whether you're going to go back and report, because you did go and try and do the thing. There was a whole scene with Makaria, and she was bait, and there was guns, and then
we got his name right. We know what group he's from, at least.
From the Brigand Darth or whatever.
Yeah.
Brigand Darth.
The Brigand, I believe it's pronounced the Brigand Darth.
It's Brigand Dorth.
I'm looking it up. That's why we have pronunciation.
It's Broken Dorks, of course.
The Broken Dorks.
The Broken Dorks.
So yeah, we gotta go tell this guy that the Broken Dorks are trying to murder people.
So mean.
Obviously.
So mean to these poor creatures.
Also, he's really cute, so we should do that for sure.
The pronunciation guide, according to the adventure, says it's the Bragendarth.
Right, I was wrong too.
Bragan rhymes with Reagan.
Reagan's.
Yes, Ronald Bragan.
Yeah, Ronald Bragan. He's the leader of the Bragendarth, an ancient sorcerer. I'm gonna write down Ronald Bragan. I'm gonna use that later. Listen, if you haven't read the entirety of Waterdeep Dragon Heist, you do not know the depth to which this adventure sinks vis-a-vis silly names for NPCs. You just wait. There's some.
I mean, we have Floon Blackmar already.
Floon merely scratches the surface of what is available here. So yeah. So Vajra Safar is the woman you spoke to last time. You've just left Blackstaff Tower, and you are out in the streets of Waterdeep, and you went here as a delay to your other plan because you were invited by magic. So it's I think it's like getting to be like later in the day now, and if you want to, you can head to the tavern.
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's go.
Yes. Yeah.
How did I know that was going to be your approach?
I mean, it's a tavern, not just a drinking establishment.
Me and Durnan are really close. Okay, we're not friends, but we're getting there. All right.
You stand near each other a lot.
Yeah, we harass each other with. Well, I was going to say with love, but I don't love anybody. We harass each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I've noticed.
I'm fond of it. All right, let's go.
Okay, yes, fine. We'll talk to our friend. What was his name?
I think he thinks that I'm joking when I say I'm going to kill him, but I'm not.
Are you?
You couldn't.
Are you
Someday.
talking about Durnan? Because I'd love to see that.
Someday.
No,
You're gonna come back.
Crush you.
Well, right now he would crush me, but soon my Lord Merkel will grant me the strength to defeat him. I believe.
Very unlikely.
Let's just go and
All
drink.
Right. Sure, that sounds great.
All right.
Fine. Yes, of course. Yeah.
So leaving Blackstaff Tower behind you, you head east out into the city, and then find your way to the Waterdeep equivalent of Cheers, the Yawning Portal.
Where everybody.
No, please.
Yep. All right. So So you head into the Yawning Portal.
I'm just imagining this place, but in the quality of TV program that is Cheers.
Yep. Durnan's polishing the bar. You come in. He
the,
looks
the
up and
opening plays. Everybody turns to.
Yeah, right. Durnan just looks off into the middle distance and smiles while like as Durnan pops up underneath him. And yeah. Late 70s, early 80s sitcom about a bar. I'm into it.
Durnan as
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. Durnan as himself. Yeah, featuring
as
special
Durnan.
guest. Awesome. All right, so so you enter the Yawning Portal, and it is well in swing. Everybody is eating and drinking. It looks like a band of adventurers has returned from the portal, and they're throwing their money about and buying drinks for people, and they seem.
Oh, they're buying drinks for people.
Pleased. They're buying drinks for people they know and like.
Akaria could become one of those people.
I'm really bad at that. My charisma's 10.
You're really bad at what? Becoming friends?
I'm bad at everything, honestly.
Sorry, was that a bad charisma of 10?
Oh, right. I'm sorry. You have a charisma of what, 4?
4.
Yeah. All you really need is everybody else to be less charismatic.
Mr. Starsong again, I think was his name.
Davil?
Yeah, Davil. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's too handsome. I can't. I go to get a drink.
Okay.
I think you have that conversation when you walk in, right? Like, Ren's like, I'm gonna go see Davil, and Makari's like, I can't handle it. And then you just...
I can't do that. I have to be not sober. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'll do the business side of things.
Okay.
And I'll do the pleasure side of things. I mean, no, what?
So 8 and Jewel, what are you gonna do? These two walk in and they separate. Rin, you're gonna go look for Davil.
I am, yes.
Okay. Makaria goes to the bar. Durnan rolls his eyes.
Oh,
Durnan will be played by the guy that played Ron Swanson. What's that actor's name?
Nick Offerman.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick
Durnan
Offerman.
is totally Nick Offerman.
Durnan
I've
is
met him. I've
with
met
the
him
mustache.
in real life.
Yeah, and with like a bad Scottish accent, like as bad as mine. Yeah. Yeah, into it. 8 and Jewel, what are you doing?
I think Jewel will go with Rin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I also
most
have
interesting.
questions for this star song.
Cool. I prefer being alone. It's fine.
You're not alone. There's drinks.
All right.
That's true. My best friends.
Okay. All right. So I'll pop up the art for old Davil here. There he is. So handsome.
Yeah, look at him. He's so handsome.
Such a handsome boy. And yeah, I think you find him. He's at a table with some of his associates, and they are having a conversation as you walk up.
So I'll sort of like stand on the periphery of this conversation until Davil notices that I'm there, trying to not like barge in on whatever is currently going on at their table, because this is a Zentarum thing probably, and I don't really want to get in between that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I just like stand off to the side and wait until Davil is like free or makes eye contact with me.
Okay. Yeah. So he sees you, and he says to his companions, he says, "Ah, no, they are now. If you'll excuse me, gentlemen." And he stands up because he's a polite guy. He's not gonna make all his friends leave the table they're all sitting at. He stands up and he turns to you and he gives you a bow, and he says, "Rin, Jewel, 8, where's your cleric friend?"
She's already headed off to the bar.
Someone has her priorities in order.
Well, she knows that we'll handle this just fine.
Yeah, and he looks past you to the bar where he sees Makaria. What do we see Makaria doing?
She's harassing Durnan to try and get free drinks.
Okay, sure. Yeah, Durnan's ignoring you. So yeah, Davil turns back, and he says, "So, what have you found out for me?"
Well, we couldn't apprehend your murderer, or maybe several murderers, considering what we learned. But we do know who they are.
Is that so?
Have you heard of an organization called the Brigand Darth, or Darth?
He nods. Dark elves.
The one we tangled with had some sort of well, it was potent weaponry to say the least. Some sort of firearm.
It wasn't that he was too powerful. He ran away like a coward.
Well, you know what they say about running away and living to fight again. I've never been in the position myself, but
I'm not aware. Could you please elucidate on the saying that they have?
We'll trade idioms later, Aid. So this turns back to Rin. So this, you're sure it was the Brigandareth? You saw this dark elf yourself?
As sure as I could possibly be. Not to mention that we basically got confirmation it was the Brigandareth with a conversation we had with Vajra Safar.
When you say that, he's like, "Oh, really?" And he says, "It shouldn't surprise me you're being courted by the Grey Hands. You seem to be useful operatives. I do hope you'll make the right decision." And he grins, and it's like, it's not meant to be a threat, but he's a little like, and he knows what the correct decision is.
Sure, yeah. And I sort of give him a nod at that, like, like we'll make the right decision. So, is that sort of information sufficient for this task?
Well, if it was the Brigandareth, then you're lucky to be alive, you and your friends.
Yes. We were fortunate, I think.
I'm not the sort of man to think that being alive is gift enough. I gave you a mission and you performed it to the best of your abilities. I didn't know what you were up against, so I'm glad no one was hurt. Not too badly, anyway.
A few cuts and scrapes, nothing major.
Mostly pride.
So this assassin, do you plan to continue hunting for him? Is this a personal vendetta now?
I have nothing personal against him myself. If he's still killing elves, then he's still killing elves. But I was hoping that with you knowing what the organization was, we might be able to sweep more of a net over things, so to speak.
The Brigandareth themselves have nothing against elves in particular. That's a drow proclivity. I wonder, do you have reason to believe that this was an operation of the Brigandareth? And not just some rogue agent operating on their own?
I have nothing substantial to suggest that, no. But we do know he was a member.
This is a matter of Dockward security, and the City Watch are outmatched.
If I might offer,
please.
If it were me in that situation, and there were poorly guarded people I already didn't like, and I had a new weapon like that, I would just want to kill people to test it. Perhaps he was doing this.
Unfortunately, there's nothing new about these guns the Brigandareth have. They're dangerous, specialized equipment, require training, lots of it. Like a longbow, but more complicated, more difficult to master. There's a reason they haven't been distributed any further than that. I don't think that's what this is. Now, the Drow have a long history of animosity with our people, but something's missing. A piece of the puzzle. That's not your responsibility. Thank you, Rin. Please. And he gestures to a table nearby and says, please, sit.
And so I do.
Okay. And he calls one of the Zentarum. He snaps and gestures, and one of the other Zentarum comes over. And he talks quietly to him, and then sends him away. And he says, as promised, your payment.
Much appreciated.
So I'm curious, friendly curiosity. How was this meeting with the Blackstaff?
I hold mages of her position, those with great knowledge that she has, in great esteem. So it was interesting and unexpected.
Did she ask anything of you?
She did, just as you did. Task, something to be done.
Have you been approached by anyone else in this matter?
In this, for this particular task, or do you just mean people trying to offer me work? Because honestly, we're very much looking for work. So I haven't really thought it to be suspicious.
No, of course. Your name's getting around. And he says that as he looks across the room, and we see Valo in mid story. We don't catch what he's talking about, but he's like drawn court to him and is telling somebody a story about, I don't know, sometime he fled from a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And he says, well, that's good. Drumming up business. Little competition never hurt anyone.
Well, not to mention we need the money to repair the manor.
So that's the plan then?
That's my plan, certainly. What the others are focusing on, well...
Acquiring goods legally requires money.
It's like, yes.
Yeah, he nods. He says, legitimate business is indeed a difficult endeavor. And he flashes you a smile that like finishes the sentence in a way his words don't.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's easier than stealing from people. Sometimes.
And then,
why do you ask?
as you're speaking, this other guy comes back with a coin purse that he hands to Davil, and Davil holds out to you.
And I take, obviously.
Yeah. He says, as promised, payment in full. I'll leave it to you to distribute it among your party. And he's like squinting over at Makaria. Makaria, what are you doing?
I think that if I had been able to get, I probably had to like pay for some like alcohol.
Yes.
Because
you can't go to a bar and get free drinks.
She tries every time.
Okay.
So like it's only been a little bit of a conversation. She's not like drunk yet, but she's trying. She's trying really hard. And I think that like she's probably very pointedly like sitting with her back to this conversation because like, it's fine. And probably like, I don't know, like annoying Dernan or other people at the bar. She's just being loud and annoying.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So you get paid. And Davil says, well, I'm sorry that this turned out to be not quite what we expected, and I hope, for all of our sakes, that you haven't made an enemy of the Bragendareth. But knowing
I would be surprised if it were the entire organization, like you said. Maybe one disgruntled member.
We'll continue to look into it. If I learn anything that I think will be of use, I'll let you know. Now, there's going to come time when I could use more operatives of your caliber. No offense to my colleagues, but, well, the right tool for the right job. But I'm going to need to know that you're interested, serious about our cause. And you don't have to make any kind of decision now, but think on it. And if you are serious, let me know.
Well, I'm sure we can get back to you. Assuming you're not looking for something right away.
He shakes his head. No, but there's always things to do. Waterdeep's very busy. Now,
no doubt.
If you'll excuse me, and he stands up, And he says, always business to attend to.
Always.
Okay. So yeah, Davil excuses himself, leaving the three of you at a table. Makaria, you see Davil get up and leave an empty chair and walk back to his goons.
Okay. Presumably I've obtained alcohol, and I like take it and like throw some like parting shot at Durnan. And then like come back.
Are you paying for this alcohol?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you said I couldn't get it for free unless I steal my.
I'm just making sure you're using it. So
I pass by the group of adventurers that is paying for people's drinks, and I steal a drink from someone and just continue walking. Very obviously, like the point is like I'm daring them to call me out on it.
So they will. Like if you try to just like, do you want to make a sleight of hand check and try to steal from them, or are you just like, I'm gonna just grab this in front of everybody?
Sure, let's see if I can make a sleight of hand check to see like how obvious it is. But I'm assuming it's fairly obvious because that's what I'm assuming.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fairly obvious.
Okay. All right. So you reach out to like sneak a glass off the table, and a gauntleted hand closes on your wrist, and you follow the gauntlet up an armored arm to a blue cloaked shoulder to a human face with long kind of wavy blonde hair, and he looks at you like with these like bright brown eyes, like he's startled that crime is a thing that happens, and he holds your wrist and he's like, "Excuse me, that's my drink."
If you do not take your hands off of me, you will die.
Make an intimidation check.
It's not intimidating, it's the truth.
I mean, you're trying to intimidate him. And he does, but not because he's scared. So he takes his hand off you and he's like, "By Torm, you're rude. First you try to steal from me. And now," and like he's speaking loud enough that his friends are hearing the like, "Pay attention, something is going on." And so they all start to like look. And he stands up, and the dude's like almost 2 full feet taller than you. And he just like looks down at you.
Is the drink still there?
On his tabard, there's this big silver gauntlet. And and he looks down, and yes, the drink is still there. And he says, "I think I am owed an apology."
From whom?
From you, impetuous cur. You just just try to grab it again?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna save your ass on this one.
That's fine.
Yeah, he takes it, like he grabs it and like holds it away from you. And he says, "Have you no respect, young lady?"
You are handing out free drinks.
"Not to you, we were not." And he like looks you up and down, and are you still wearing your sailor outfit, or have you changed?
No, we went to we were at the house. I would have changed when we were at the house, and we went to the place. Yeah, no, I've changed.
Okay, so you're dressed like a cleric of Kellenborg.
Yeah.
And
so
like
he says not to you. She puts her hand on her chest and she says, "I think I'm owed an apology."
He looks you up and down and he says, "My lady, were not our 2 gods allies in the heavens, I might think to smite you where you stand." And like looks down, you're like,
This guy is so overwrought.
Well, since our 2 gods, as they are allies, perhaps we can start off on a better foot. Let's say with you giving your friend a free drink.
He looks at you and he says, "I look about me from the left to the right, and I see gathered around me my friends, and in their hands drinks. And then there's you little goblin. Drinkless, and drinkless shall you remain."
I don't think so.
By the might of Biff Longsteel.
No, this is Biff's brother, Boff. Come on.
Boff Longsteel. Okay.
So what do you? Yeah. So you're like, and then what? Do you do anything? You're like, "I don't think so." But he's not. He's holding his drink, and it's like 1.5 feet above your head.
He's very tall.
Yeah.
How far away is this table from my party's table?
Like 2 or 3 tables over. You look, Rin, 8, and Jewel, are you looking? You're watching Makaria like do that? Okay, so you see this happening.
No, she doesn't see 8 because 8 is actually standing directly behind her.
Okay, so you step up. Okay, so now Makaria, it's like standing at the bottom of a very deep valley. There's a very tall boy behind you and a very tall boy in front of you. And so 8, you step forward and he looks down at you, Makaria, and he says, "Do not think to try to intimidate me with your mechanical servant. I know what is right."
He is no servant of mine. He is a servant of my God.
And the guy looks at you, 8.
I am?
Yes.
Which one? The one that you actually worship or the pretend one?
And he laughs, and this guy he only has like the full 10, so it's like a full on like it
It's
seems
like the
your
English equivalent of the oh ho ho.
Yeah, exactly. It seems your friend is as confused as you are, goblin. Please take yourselves out of my presence. Good day. And he turns a shoulder to you.
Grab someone else's drink at the table.
What you're just gonna be like, and like
trying to commit suicide by patron of this tavern?
No, I just want drinks.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Okay, cool. It goes even poorer.
All right. So we see you like look at a beer. We see you kind of like and go to reach it, and then we hard cut to this guy dangling you by your lapels over the portal. And so he's just like hanging you over the portal, and he's staring at you, and he's like, "And another thing, stealing is wrong. It doesn't matter if it is a beer or a loaf of bread. All theft is theft in the eyes of the gods." So you're just like you're hanging over the thing, and you're just giggling.
Okay, Jewel's kind of an ass, and like while he's doing that.
Yeah.
She wants to try and steal something from them.
Okay.
Yeah, I was hoping you would do this earlier
from their table while they're all distracted.
Yeah, so Makaria is like
She's only
dangling.
gonna, to be clear, steal one, and it is not from Makaria.
Yeah, because you're a jerk.
I am sitting at the table with my notebook open, just writing down what is happening right now, so that later I can compose a quality
21.
So,
You and Rin, you and Davil exchange a look, and he's just like, friends, like sometimes. Okay, so Jill, what are you stealing? Like
She's just gonna walk past the table where they're all holding her over the pit, and she's just gonna grab one of their drinks, continue walking, and sit down at their group's table.
Nobody notices you do that.
I want to know if I see that.
No, I don't think so. Yeah,
No.
you definitely don't. Jewel is way better at this than you.
She's so much better than me.
So this guy, he's like holding you, and he's like, according to the third scripture of Torm, and he like is just giving you like a lecture, like a religious lecture about justice and protection of civilization, and how even one theft that goes unpunished could be the hole in the great dam that holds back the tides of evil. Do you want to be responsible for the tides of evil? Well, do you, little goblin? And he gives you a shake.
Yes.
And he turns around and he throws you on the floor, and he looks over, and you see a smaller. He's wearing pretty much the same outfit, but he's smaller, and it doesn't fit him. And this little guy is like watching, and the big guy turns around and he's like, "Squire, my helmet." And he turns to his friends, and he's like, "I'm leaving. I knew we should have gone to Baldur's Gate." And he turns and he like walks out, and the squire chases after him with the helmet, like, sir, wait, and like scrambles off.
Are his drinks still on the table?
I mean, he's just left completely.
Yes,
you turn, you look, you get up. Well, hold on, you get up and you look at his table, and you see his friends. Like there's a wizard and a cleric and like probably a dragonborn sorcerer or something, and they're all looking at you like, how dare you? And then where he was sitting, right, there's his chair. On the table, there's just a ring of condensation where his drink was.
Every time Jewel takes a sip, she's like,
yeah.
You're back at the table with me, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I look up from the furious note taking that I'm doing, and I look over at you and I go, "Really?
What was that man's name?" I ask his compatriots.
I don't know if it was worth it. Hey, Makaria, we got you some drinks.
Yeah, they all just laugh at you and ignore you. They're just like, yeah, you got told.
Makaria, like under her, like not even very under her breath, like as she's turning away and going to where there are drinks, is like, I'm going to kill all of them.
Okay, so you come back to the table. So everybody is gathered. You're gathered at your own table now. Yeah, is there talk to be done? Is there planning, or do you all know what you're gonna do next already?
So I think the only thing that I have to say is, like, we have the payment from our good friend Davil, which of course I'll split between the party for however much it is, Adam.
Yeah, let me look. I can't remember how much he said he would pay you.
100 gold apiece.
No, don't say things that are lies. Torm hates lying too. That's another thing. Don't get him started. Yeah, let me see.
Makaria hates Torm.
Listen, Torm's just out there trying to get by.
Makaria hates a lot of people.
Look, Boff Longsteel just
gods.
50 gold. Everybody gets 50 gold.
Yeah. There, now you have enough to buy literally infinity drinks. Like,
no, not infinity drinks.
Pretty much.
A lot of drinks.
150 GP drink.
What is this, like the holy like liquor of the gods, like distilled from the heavens flower or something?
Mm-hmm. Pretty much, yeah.
50 GP drink, Jesus.
Yep.
8.
What?
Why didn't you stab that fellow? That would have been sanctioned. Surely that would have been sanctioned violence.
Do not start this conversation. You provoked him. You think I wasn't watching? I hold the notebook up and like wave it a bit. I have every single word that was said, down to the exact sentence structure written here. You tried to steal his drink. How would sanctioned murder come up?
Stealing is a strong word. I feel like it was stealing. It was stealing.
Oh, here, I got you a drink. And she just slides the like 3/4 of the whatever he was drinking across the table.
Mm-hmm.
I got it for you.
So Makaria, you wanna try to drink it?
Yes.
Okay, it's just water. It was just a mug of water.
Fuck!
Torm.
I throw it into the fire.
The 76th decree of Torm saith, drinketh not, lest thy head become clouded with evil, tides of evil. But yes, yeah, it was just water. Throw it. Yeah, it's a tough life. It's a tough life out here.
Well, if you're finished with this, what would I call it? A distraction. Then here's your gold. Like, hand out the 50 gold from Davil.
Buying
I
drinks.
think would improve your mood somewhat. And we still have a task to complete for Vajra Safar.
Mm-hmm. Can we stop by Old Zoblov's before we do the task? Now that I have all
Go to Zoblob's on your own time.
Is it in the direction?
I am displeased with you.
I'm displeased with you.
I was going to push both of you in the pit. Be thankful that I did not do so.
I'm not thankful. That would have been lovely. Thank you.
You can go right now.
The pit's still there.
Anyway, fine. I'll go by myself. And I'm sure it's on the way. We're just going out of the city, right? To like a hill or something.
The hill is in the city.
Oh,
yes.
in the city?
Yeah.
Within
Let's
the
hear. I'll
walls
pop
of
over to the map.
I don't remember where the hill was.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's south or north or what have you. But
It is. It is. If we take a look.
Where's this hill?
It's not a hill. It's a mountain. It's Mount Waterdeep.
It's a hill.
It's a mountain. It's right there.
It's a hill.
Right where?
It's at the bottom, down here.
Erie.
Do we
Okay,
have
so
to climb
we're at the yawning portal,
Yeah.
and old Zoblobs
Yeah, it's definitely on the way. If you go like this,
is not.
Yeah, that's some fairly severe triangulation.
Very
right?
not on the
Look
way.
at it
very
this
not
way.
on the way.
Why don't we climb the hill mountain, and then on the way back, we will reward ourselves with stealing and
That's not really how I do things.
You can literally see what looks like a feather rustling motion from Rand that we'll reward ourselves with stealing, and she's like, ugh.
Well, what if the monk wants something? We should. Fine.
You think the monk's gonna want weird purple smoke drug?
Life is eternal torment.
Yes.
Well, again, the pit's right there.
And you worship it, so I believe. So let's just go.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, it's going to be nighttime. So if you want to do like the night climb of Mount Waterdeep, you are welcome to do so.
I saw how you looked at that staff bearer. You worship power too.
I worship power, do I?
Look, do we want to go to sleep and then up the hill?
That is a possibility.
No,
Yes.
I go up the hill now.
In the
Before
dark?
Makaria tries to
Eight?
provoke you further.
Yes,
It's right there.
it's only a hill.
Mount Waterdeep is a rough, rocky mountain standing some 1,500 feet above sea level to the west of the city of Waterdeep.
Probably shouldn't climb it in the dark.
Beneath the
You
mountain,
can't see.
When
beneath
you
the
said
mountain
Mount
is
Waterdeep, I was just thinking about that one mountain in Montreal that's like
yeah,
just
no, it's a for reals. It's a
hill.
for reals mountain. It's 457 meters tall, and underneath it is surprise, surprise, Undermountain. Go figure.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that makes sense.
So if we're going to get rest before we climb this mountain anyway, then surely you would not mind if I separate before returning home. Do you want to come with me, Jewel? To the purple shop. No?
She does. No.
Fine.
That face.
It's not like someone's wandering around the dock ward murdering half-elves or anything. I'll be fine.
Listen,
See you all
If
later.
you-
Or
Fine.
not.
Fine. She slinks after you.
I just like I look at 8 and I just go, professionalism, 8. It's what we have that they don't. Like,
Perfect. All right, and I think on that we cut to our first break. Professionalism, kids. Don't forget, it's what makes Waterdeep work. If you want to be a part of the Zentarum, somebody's got to be a professional. Everybody else can be robots and thieves and drunks, but somebody's got to keep it
why
together.
this time did I have to be the sane one? Like, it was so much more enjoyable to be the
It's because I rolled 4 8s. I rolled 4 8s. That's why you have to
In
be
every party, somebody's got to be a troll, even if nobody's playing a troll. So we're going to take a short break. Stick around. And when we get back, there will be lots more. Probably this. If this is what you can expect more of. So if you like it, don't go anywhere. We'll be back. Dive into a twisted maze of schemes and villainy as you race to claim the legendary fortune hidden somewhere in Waterdeep. Roll20's full digital conversion of Waterdeep Dragon Heist features 4 possible story paths, immersive features like dynamic lighting on all battle maps, and character sheets with one-click actions. Switch between story paths with the click of a mouse and enjoy the complete contents of this thrilling new Dungeons & Dragons adventure. Grab Waterdeep Dragon Heist today on the Roll20 Marketplace. Hello, welcome back. The hoist is done. All the bar horse shit is finished, and it's time to go climb a mountain in the middle of the night. Or, I guess, go to a purple store run by a gnome and...
I think the idea is that we're gonna wait till morning, and those two are running an errand.
Okay, so Rin, you and 8 aren't gonna climb you're not gonna climb the mountain, just the two of you. Okay.
I mean, we could, but I really don't think that's a good idea or a smart D&D plan.
Yeah, like
8 doesn't have dark vision.
You could, but climbing mountains at night is not a good proposition.
Both 8 and I are smart enough,
yeah,
I think,
right, yes.
to recognize that splitting the party and going to do it on our own is a terrible plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't necessarily have to have a scene at Zablob if you don't like. I just want to buy purple stuff.
I mean, I feel like it's important to have a scene with you and Jewel because we haven't seen the two of you like get to hang out together before.
Yeah, this is
and then Rin and 8 can also have a scene. Yeah,
the Jewel Macaria bottle episode that nobody knew they wanted.
I see. Even Jewel doesn't want it. All right, so it's night. Night has fallen. It's a warm night. Lots of people are out in the street. Summer is approaching, and you leave the relative safety of the trades ward, heading south for the relative lack of safety of the dock ward. And upon arriving therein, we fade on to the two of you, probably taking Snail Street down through the dock ward towards Fillet Lane. Are you talking while you're walking, or what is set the scene for me here with the two of you?
So I think that initially, at least, and we can like move on from this, but Macaria is explaining why that all went out of hand, and that man should have immediately given her what she wanted. And someday she'll have the power necessary to make him regret ever touching her. And she's just going on about it for like a minute until Jewel probably like, do you just let her go?
I think she totally is used to Macaria ranting. She just sort of lets her rant. And then at some point she's just like, if you don't get caught, you get away with more things.
Yes, well, I'm not a...
I mean, was your goal to make him quake with fear, or was it just to get a drink?
Both. I wanted the drink initially, but after he touched me, my goal was to make him quake with fear and fear for his imminent demise.
That does seem reasonable. If you want a drink, just ask me next time.
Okay.
I'm not always going to get you one, but I'd rather that than you get thrown down the portal to the Underdark. That just seems like then you'll definitely die.
No, from what I know of Lolth, I'm sure that I would fit in well down there.
Right.
Absolutely positive.
Then the fall might just kill you, and then you wouldn't be able to fit in down there.
Yeah, I looked up on the break. I looked up how much falling damage you would take falling into the Yawning Portal.
Yeah,
I couldn't find a depth on the Yawning Portal, so I have to assume it's the maximum amount.
It's lethal.
Terminal velocity. Yeah.
It's probably at least a kilometer down.
10d6.
Yeah.
Is that the most?
Yeah, that's the most you would take. Yeah.
I love it. You eventually get to a high enough level where you can just fall an infinite distance.
Yeah, I would not be 100% dead. 32 is not twice my HP, so I could come back from that potentially.
Sorry, everyone, I was wrong.
Oh, it's 20d6. Okay, roll that again. Then,
okay.
In your hypothetical fall.
20d6. Got it.
God, ever since you started playing that other game.
I would be 100% dead. Yeah.
72 falling damage, which would definitely obliterate you.
I would be really dead. Yes.
Hey, there you go. The FR Wiki says 40 feet in diameter, descending 140 feet, so you'd only take 14d6. Anyway,
so
you could also pay Durnan a gold to have someone lower you in a bucket down into the well. Like, listen, everybody stop falling down the Yawning Portal.
I did 14d6 and I got 32 again.
Everybody stop falling. It's not happening.
That was a really bad roll.
Really lucky with that roll.
Yeah. See, Dave's is still 1 HP shy of twice my HP, so I would still be not 100% dead. Close.
Yeah.
Very close.
So as you're walking for the old Zoblob shop, you're pondering like, whether or not you would die if you had fallen
Yes.
down that well. You
I
stared
think that
briefly.
talking about death is a fond pastime of mine.
It's pretty
Cool.
normal. Yeah, we started to debate how likely it would be that you would have just died if he dropped you.
Yeah.
Jewel, you would have died, but you would have landed on your feet and then died. So
Yeah. But if we strap a piece of buttered toast
Right.
to her back,
just spin around forever.
she just spin forever,
and you
she'll
never land
die.
at all.
Yeah. I wonder if old Zoblob has a potion of feather fall.
Yeah, and so
I mean, if it does,
as
it's
if
probably purple.
As if to herald your arrival, you walk into the opening corner, and you see the strange purple light glowing from the window. The sign, the big elaborate sign saying in fine calligraphy, "Old Zoblob Shop," and then staring from the open window, the stuffed beholder, a purple glow washes out from the window into the street.
Makaria pushes open the door and announces, "I've returned. Do you have more of that?" This, like she at the air.
So you walk in and just start talking to the empty room.
I mean, is he not there?
Or you don't see him. He's not just like standing there.
Okay. Yes, I talk to the empty room and then I realize that he's not there. And I say, "Hello?"
And there's like some clattering behind a shelf.
The unprofessionalism.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So there's some more like rattling, and then after a moment, you see the grayish gnome come out from behind a shelf. He's wearing a leather headband now, and then from the headband extend several wire prongs on which he has hung round stones. And it looks unfinished, this circlet that he's working on. And he's got a jeweler's loop in one eye, and he's holding a pair of pliers. And he sticks his head out and he says, "Huh, customers."
You look different than I remember.
I often find that to be the case.
You have more of that smoke you were smoking. The thing that creates the smoke, not the smoke itself. That would be very temporary.
Oh, what? When?
Last time I was here, don't you remember?
Darling, I barely remember what happened to me this morning, let alone any other day of the week. How I manage to keep this business running at all is a miracle. I do have some nice powdered wigs that I got in just the other day. That's what the ledger says, but I've not been able to find them. You didn't buy them, did you?
No, I sold them to you and you still owe me for it.
Let's take a look. And he waddles over, and his little stones are flopping around on his head. And he waddles over to the desk and he climbs up he's got a step ladder onto a stool, and he stands on the stool and he drops a big purple leather book on the table, and he opens it and starts flipping through its lavender pages with purple ink on them. And he gets to an entry and he's like, wigs. Nope. Says right here, I paid for them already.
You don't remember?
That's why I've the book, dearie.
No, you don't remember that you filled that out, and then you remembered that the coins that you gave me were actually a leprechaun's coins, and they would turn to wood in the morning, and that you still owed me.
He turns and he looks at you, Jewel, as if to be like,
is she telling the truth?
Yeah.
Jewel mostly wants to stay out of it, so she's going to, right as he's turning, just walk away.
Yeah.
And has hopefully just sort of disappeared at that point.
Okay. All right. So he sees you walk by, and he turns back to you, Makaria, and he says, No,
that's fine. I'm very forgiving of debts, honestly. Just, you had a drug last time I was here. You were smoking it in a pipe. Do you have more of that? I'll just take that as recompense and we'll settle this whole thing.
Oh, no, I don't have anything like that here. We don't sell those sorts of things.
You don't have to sell them. Do you have them?
He like peers. He says, "Who said that?"
My unseen servant.
Yeah, he's like shakes his head and he says, "No, not my sort of business. I sell." And then he reaches under the counter and he pulls out. Let's see. Okay, he reaches under the counter. He says, "I sell." And he pulls out a piece of jewelry, and it's a carved piece of ivory, like a pin, with like gold around the outside, with a very ugly person in profile on it. And he says, "I sell cameos. Yes, this one is of Floon. Would you like to buy that? It's only I don't know, let's say 2 gold."
No, I would not.
And yeah, Jewel, it's like looking. It looks exactly like the one you have.
Huh. She's gonna look for drugs just to help a girl out.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So Makaria, he's holding this like Floon locket, and he looks at it and he says, "Well, it's the wrong color. I haven't gotten around to painting it. So it says on here," and he turns it over. He says, "Made in Flanite jewelry. It's all the rage these days." He puts it down, slides it towards you.
Do you have anything a bit more macabre?
He looks around. "Oh, nothing more than you, my dear. Throw a coat of purple paint on you and maybe
Please
someone
don't.
would buy you."
Do you want me
That's
to roll
called prostitution.
find drugs?
No, he does not appear to have any
What the fuck?
drugs around. No.
How dare? Ugh.
Jewel like pops out from a shelf and she's like, "He doesn't have what you want. I bet someone else in the dock ward would though, if you really want it."
Like 8.
All the way here. You're useless.
That's what my mother always used to say.
She wasn't wrong.
On my way out, I like. If you said it's like a plushie of a beholder in the window,
No, it's like a stuffed beholder.
like an actual beholder.
You're not a biologist, but it certainly looks like it.
Okay, on my way out, I like twing one of the like mobile.
Like, give it a whack and it like
yeah.
like bobbles. Yeah.
Yeah, I like smack it and then I walk out.
Yeah. So you walk out and he waves. He's like, "Goodbye." Yeah, you walk outside. So meanwhile, Rin and 8, what do you get up to? Do you stay in the tavern? You go somewhere else? Go for a walk? What are you two doing?
I think Rin is more than happy to stay in the tavern for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the amount of time it takes the others to walk all the way to the Zoblub shop.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, 8, what are you like?
Rin,
Hmm?
I was wondering, since you don't have the magic yourself for making lights, do you think somebody else would be able to make light as a magic for me?
It's certainly impossible, but if you give me enough time, I'm sure I'll be able to make it for you.
Can it be a light that goes forever?
That would be significantly more difficult.
I might just pay for it.
If you think that's the best approach.
It's unacceptable to me that there is a situation whereby I have to rely on others holding torches for me. This was not something I was trained for. Therefore, I have come up with the ideal solution to this. which is that light should come from one of the things that I'm already going to be holding.
You understand that relying on someone else is not necessarily a weakness, yes?
No.
In that I help you, and together, the two of us are stronger than we would be separately. And likewise, I could not do many of the things that you are capable of doing. And I rely on you to pursue those avenues. While I understand that you don't want to be blind, obviously that makes a lot of sense. And if you want to find somewhere that you can get a permanent enchantment of light or something of that sort, then we can look around and find something. You have to understand that we are working as a group. You, me, Makaria, Jewel, all of us. And if your only means of engaging something is by yourself, then you'll always lose.
This is an interesting viewpoint. I'll think on it some more. I'm glad I didn't kill you when we met, Rin.
Yes, I'm glad for that as well.
Let's go now.
Yeah. Very well. Like, fold my book up, put it away. Like, stand up, dust myself off a little bit, straighten up, and say, you have any idea where we might be able to find something like this? I assume somewhere in Waterdeep there's like a magic district or something, or a shop district at least, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, like, there's
something I would know. I'm just like I don't know how to go.
Yeah, like magic, like where to buy magic items in Waterdeep.
Why don't you just get a lantern?
I have a lantern.
Yeah.
But I don't have a hand for it.
Why don't you glue it to your head?
That's not how it works.
Don't want to do that.
But you have to have a hand for a lantern?
Yeah. What else would you do?
You can't put it on a belt or anything.
So this whole time Malik was keeping a hand free.
No, Malik's lantern was hanging off the end of his staff. That's why he never attacked with it. It was a walking stick, and the lantern was hanging off of it, so he always had his hand on that.
Yeah, I had like casting stuff, lantern stuff.
Yeah.
And I just went.
Let's see.
The reason I was thinking of this is because I know the components for continual flame cost 50 gold, and I was reading our handy dandy guide, their Waterdeep and Kyridian.
Yes, that's what I was looking at.
Yeah, people use continual light on signs like neon to advertise for shops. So I've like seen it everywhere.
That's so cool.
I'm like, yeah, just get that on a sword, easy peasy.
Yeah, I wonder how much that would cost. Like, does anybody remember if does the Dungeon Master's Guide have a like spell per level cost? Because it's like continual flame.
Yeah, second level.
It's a second level spell. It's probably like 100 gold, I think, plus the materials.
What?
Yeah, probably. Spells are expensive, man. Getting to be level 2.
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm gonna say. It's the mats. You bring your own mats or you pay for them. It's 150 gold or 100 and the material.
So maybe after like we find this out, he's very.
I think we have a short conversation about like what you actually want to do, and like we go outside and you see like one of the signs or whatever, and you're like, I want to do that, but with my sword or something, right? Yeah. And I'm like, that may be more expensive than you can afford. I could lend you some of the money, I suppose, but I was hoping to put it towards the manor, furniture, comfort.
The manor is very important to me also.
Then
owning things.
Then perhaps once we return to the Blackstaff with task complete, you might have enough.
Or she could do it for me. She seemed like a powerful enough wizard.
Also, very much a possibility.
If she would do this for any future upgrades I got as well, I would definitely consider joining her faction.
Well, I'm sure the Blackstaff has much to offer, as have Many before her, and many wizards of her caliber. Strong beyond the means of any mortal, really.
Why are you not a wizard? You seem to admire them so much.
I'm not talented enough for that. Smart enough, studious enough. Never had the training. I've watched a lot of wizardry. I've seen a lot of magic, but never had the opportunity to really practice it myself.
I understand.
Bardic pursuits. It's a lot more natural, comes more naturally to me.
I understand. We're all made a certain way.
I suppose we are made a certain way, but who knows what can change that composition along a road of some sort. Just because you start one way doesn't mean you have to end that way.
I found that gaining experience through combat is the most efficient way for me to improve my skills and gain new abilities.
Practice. It makes perfect, or so they say.
Exactly.
Well, should we head back to the manor and await the others? I assume they're going to want to rest and then in the morning head up the mountain.
Very well.
Cool. All right. Well, everybody take inspiration if you don't have it already.
Yay.
All I've got on crafting magic items is like there's base prices, and
but
then
it's
there's
not
also
really...
spell scrolls for a second level spell. A spell scroll costs 250 gold.
Yeah, they're not. Nobody's making a scroll. Yeah, I think it's
the casting of the spell. You're basically like,
I'm just like, I can't find a different.
The wizard wants it to cost, really.
I just can't find another comparison is all I'm saying.
Totally. Yeah. If somebody, and this is why it's so great. If somebody in chat finds me like a player's handbook page number or a Dungeon Master's Guide or Xanathar's or whatever book, if you know where these rules are and you can find them for me, that'd be cool. We don't need them urgently, but I'm just curious because you are in Waterdeep. This isn't Chult, right? So there is a chance you can spend. I haven't played a D&D game in ages where the players are actually hurting for money, where you're like, oh, we have so much we could spend it on, like our house, and we could buy stuff and like. Yeah. So just if there is some guidance table, I feel like I've seen it, but also I've played a lot of role-playing games where like there's a lot of rules in my head, so I don't remember where the table is, but if somebody can find it, yeah. Cool. Okay. So anyway, you're going to head back to your house, back to Trollskull Manor.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know who, I guess it's 50-50 on who would arrive first. So, I will flip a coin.
Do it.
One is Rin and 8, 2 is Makaria and Jewel. 2. Okay. Makaria and Jewel, you arrive home first. And when you get there, you spot a shadowy figure up on your porch, looking in the window.
Um.
And this guy turns and he sees you and he runs off, or tries to.
Cool.
I hit a button and muted myself. She sees them and then dashes.
Yeah, you're gonna chase him down. Okay.
Climbs up the side of the building.
Okay. Sure. Make an athletics check.
Okay.
She's also got that extra dash, so she's pretty quick.
Yeah, make it with advantage.
Yeah. And I don't need the climb. I also have the climb speed, so 17.
Okay. Yeah, I mean climbing won't super affect this because you're just chasing him.
Claws out, just digs them into the side of the wall.
Yeah. Okay. So you run after this guy. All right. Let me roll.
Also, there's information on spell casting services.
Yeah, I found that in the
which
SRB.
doesn't give us specific numbers.
It just says might cost. Why might?
Yeah.
Just tell me. Give me a number. I think the Dungeon Master's Guide probably has like better stuff, but it's fine. I don't need it right now. Okay, so so you catch this guy, you chase after him and tackle him in the street and knock him down, and he yelps like ah! And he falls in a puddle and filthy water splashes up in the air. And he's like, ah, get off me, get off of me, and like trying to push you away.
Why are you on our stuff?
What are you?
He was on the roof of
What are you talking about, you
He
maniac?
was on the porch.
Get away
He was on
from
the
me.
porch.
Oh, yeah.
And so Makaria, you can walk up.
Yeah, I like very like trying to
Why
be
are you
cool. Trying to
Why
be
are you
cool. I
here?
just like walk up and like I hear like Jewel questioning this guy. Yeah.
Like Jules already draws a dagger. Like, why are you here?
Do you have him pinned down and you draw a knife on him? Okay.
No, I think she's just like she knocks him back and then like moves back into sort of a defensive like.
Okay, so you let him stand up. Yeah.
Yes, she will let him stand up.
Gets
when
up.
he doesn't immediately attack her, she's like,
Yeah.
"What are you doing here?"
Gets up and brushes himself off, and he's like, "The nerve! How dare you? I'm soaked now. Ugh, this water's filthy. I'm going to send you my laundry bill."
No,
You haven't answered my question yet.
Hey, what? You accosted me in the street. Threw
No,
me
I
to the
accosted
ground.
you on our property.
What? What do you mean?
You're on our porch.
You were
This is
standing
our
on our
house.
porch. I cleared my throat to address you and you ran.
Yes, I was startled. Look at the two of you. You're terrifying.
Oh, thank you.
It's not
Whatever.
That's not what I meant. You look like common miscreants. I thought I was going to be robbed. Better safe than sorry, I always say.
Yes, well, when someone's standing on your porch peering in your window, I thought that we were being robbed. So there.
I didn't realize that it had become illegal in the city of Waterdeep to peer through someone's window from outside. And I'll have you know, it was my understanding this building belonged to Volothamp Gedarm, of whom I do not see, unless you two are thugs in his employ, which would not for a moment surprise me, given what I know about Gedarm.
Talking.
How dare you? How dare you?
There's the dagger at him.
Do I have silence?
And now you're
prepared?
threatening me?
No, I
Guards! Guards! And like someone nearby just looks up at the shouting of guards and is just like,
Can you shut him up? Just cover his mouth. I don't want to touch him.
Just let us talk. Let us stop talking. Will you please stop talking?
well, put away the knife. There's no need to threaten me.
I will put away the knife and you will stop talking. And we will have a civil conversation.
It's going to be very difficult to have a conversation if I'm not allowed to speak.
I will start the conversation. Like
So-
the hair on her back of her neck and the
Yeah.
fur is like bristling.
So under
her
the-
ears are going flat. She's
Yeah, under the moonlight, you can see this guy a little better. He is dressed like pretty nicely, though he is covered in puddle water now, and probably some horse poop. And he's got what was probably like a reasonably well coiffed like pompadour, but now it's all sort of deflated on one side. He's got a piece of hair hanging in his face. He has a goatee. He's pale skinned, like maybe taller than like average. And he's got an imperious air about him, and and so he like kind of looks at you, and and so you've just told him like, shut up, I'm gonna talk. What do you say?
Jewel is going to exercise all 14 of her charisma right now and try not to stab him. We acquired Skull Manor in exchange for services from Vola. It is ours, and I believe it is referred to as trespassing when you're staring into someone's window, you peeping Tom!
He scowls and he says,
I'm trying to look very
What were you
threatening
doing?
behind Jewel.
make a roll of some kind. Make a persuade roll with advantage.
Can I be helping?
Yes, Makaria is
I'm
trying to help.
so intimidating
I mean, you're not.
Persuasion. Persuasion?
with advantage because
With
I'm
advantage.
really intimidating.
Oh, good.
All right.
16.
So he puts his hands up and he says, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that it had been occupied. You're not sleeping in that hovel, are you? My goodness, you'll get fleas. Now.
Did he say fleas?
Yeah, he said you'll get fleas.
Oh, she doesn't like that.
So he says, I'll have you know that you've just pushed Emic Froon in the mud. And he waits for you to be like,
you're not Emic Froon. Oh, you're Emic Froon. Sorry, I got you confused with all the Floons that I've met recently.
Yeah, and he's like, no, Froon is my cousin, and he lives in Neverwinter, I'll have you know. I am Emic Froon.
Floon's a really common name. Froon, slightly less so. So you're the one who's been trying to buy this?
I recognize this name. Like, what do we know?
I mean,
he was the one who was trying to purchase Trollskull Manor from Bolo.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and he
our neighbors told us about him.
That's right. He says,
so you're the one that wanted to purchase this hovel.
Yes, I was going to knock the filthy thing down and build a proper tavern in its place. Besides, I hear it's haunted.
And
but it doesn't look like that would. And he says it doesn't look like that would bother you. He gives you a snide look.
So how much were you offering?
That's none of your business.
It is. We're the current owners of this property. How much were you offering?
I no longer wish to purchase it. Now that I see the caliber of people that own this place, you'll be run out of town in, I give you a week.
Well, considering I've lived here my entire life, I really doubt that. But sure.
You have lived here your whole life. I don't think so. Maybe you were permitted to dwell in the gutters of some monastery someplace. Did they let you sleep in the graves? Is that
Jewel turns around?
You see Makaria does this I'm gonna kill this guy look, and she reaches out her hand and do you hold her back?
Yeah, Jewel takes her hand and just no, it's not worth it. Tries to lead her back to Trollskull Manor.
Yeah, so you pull her back and she sneers and he says, yes, that's right, go back to your hovel. I'll see it knocked down in a week, or my name's not Emic Froon. Ha! I see I've had nothing to be frightened of.
Only one person's been knocked down today, and it was definitely you.
And don't think I won't remember. This is a very expensive doublet.
Good.
Are you sure I can't kill him?
No, I'm not. But I think Rin would be upset, and we probably shouldn't kill him. 8 would be very happy, but Rin would be upset.
I haven't used any of my spell slots today.
See, this is the danger of magic spells where most of the spells are killing spells. It's like you get to the end of the day and why am I even a cleric? I have all these spells left over. Who don't I like? I will fireball you. Yeah.
I can't fireball. Clerics can't fireball.
Well, maybe you built the wrong type of cleric.
Yeah, you're the wrong. Listen, the clerics I know can, right? If you had 20 wisdom and were very wise, maybe you could throw a fireball or two.
Fuck off.
So you just get
I
shouted
very
at.
nearly cast a spell to kill this guy, but I don't because Jewel said Rin would get upset.
Besides, we might actually get kicked out / arrested. She looks around and sees there are clearly people around. There would be plenty witnesses to a murder. The trick to murder is to not be caught.
Sanctioned violence. He insulted me.
I don't think that's. I hate to disagree with you on this. I really don't think it's sanctioned.
Yeah, I mean you do have the law. You have the law available to you. It's clear and obvious whether murder is legal or not. It's not. Spoiler warning. Yeah. So
murder is not legal. But
spoiler alert, murder not good. Murder bad.
Anything's legal if you don't get caught. So
damn.
Add him to your list.
It's getting very long. I don't like it.
Use that.
We should really start on it. That horrible paladin from the bar.
You just start muttering the list to yourself.
Macaria's got a
I'm
shit list.
Arya Stark right now. I'm just fucking names. Well, he didn't have a name. Paladin from the bar.
Yeah. So okay. So you head back to the house and head up the stairs, and you're just gonna go inside.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just big greasy handprints on the dust of the like window where he was like peering between the like gaps in the bars that were up there.
I still have some bottles of wine that I didn't give to Jewel and Rin, so I'm going to go into the bar and cast the Eyes of the Grave and toast with my buddy.
He's not your buddy though. Just because you can see him doesn't mean he's your friend.
My buddy. He's
no,
my buddy.
That's not how it works.
Makaria.
Drink with my ghost friend.
It's a one-sided friendship.
Right. I can see you, ergo you're my friend. Okay, we'll hear. So yeah, I mean, you want to go inside and have another drink at the crappy rundown bar that you own.
Our ghost bartender, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you do that. Jewel, you just want to go to bed?
She'll go to bed, but there'll definitely be some brief treasure hunting.
Okay. All right.
I hope she finds another brooch. For Jared, it's worth 2 gold pieces.
Let's say you make a roll. I don't know what, like a survival, like as a rummaging roll. I don't know. So we'll see how you do.
Survival.
I mean, yeah, like what? Because like there's no. Let me look at the skill list.
Investigation.
Yeah, I guess investigation. Like, cause there's
no cleaning out your hoard roll.
Listen, I'm not gonna name any names, but I've played a role playing game recently where scavenging was a significant part of the game's rolling mechanisms, and we got some mileage out of that. So yeah, let's investigation. Smart. Yeah, that's a good one, Dave.
Oh, the die is rolling so slow on my end.
Yeah, you got a 17. Okay, let's have you roll. Let's see what you can find.
Roll that D100.
Yeah, roll that D100. Getting a lot of mileage out of this table.
61. Come on, 60.
I'm so excited. 61.
I got distracted while I was writing. I wrote trinkle instead of trinket.
Trinkle.
Yeah, you find a big bottle of trinkle. What is it? I don't know. Okay, you find a what languages do you speak?
Undercommon and Abyssal.
Wow.
And Common.
Not what I would have expected. Here's a question. Do Tabaxi have their own language? I mean, you don't speak it, so obviously you don't.
I don't think
it didn't specify there's no Tabaxi language. I assume
so they're like halflings.
A series of yowls that have meaning, but there's no written language.
Some kind of yowl performed in the darkness. Okay, cool. Yeah, you're like a weird Underdark cat. So yeah, you speak the tongue of hell and of the Underdark, but yeah, you dig up a book and you don't. It's written in a language you don't understand. It's just a little journal, a little like chap book.
Perfect.
Yeah.
She's happy.
Yeah. Okay.
She goes to sleep holding the book.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Not hell. The abyss. It's the other one. Okay.
How many times can I cast this Eye of the Grave thing? A number of times equal to my wisdom modifier. 3 times.
So Makaria, you are at the bar. You've cast the spell. You have do you have cups? You don't. Do you?
No, I'm by myself. I have that one like piece of glass that contains and like it's probably got moldy whatever from the last time I shared a drink with this guy and I didn't clean it up.
Mm-hmm.
So I just pour that on the ground and then I like fill it a little bit with fresh thing, but I'm just drinking out of the bottle.
Okay. All right. So the bartender appears when you cast your spell, and you drink out of the bottle. You set the bottle down, and he looks at you, just like eye contact with you, and he puts his ghostly hand up towards the bottle, and he just pushes it slightly towards the edge of the bar, and you just see it like skid across the bar.
Oh, so you can interact with objects like the door.
And he pushes it a little closer to the edge of the bar.
I put my hand on the bottle. I thought we were friends, Liv.
He breaks the bottle. He just smashes it and it shatters. Like broken glass and wine all over you. And he snarls and then like floats away.
gonna kill him too.
Too late. So Rin and 8, you are outside when you hear a sudden, like you're walking up to the door and you hear a shattering inside. You're a glass break.
Yeah, I think there's a little more hurry once we hear like something break, like somebody threw something or whatever.
Yeah.
Like bust in through the front door and it's just Makaria.
You see Makaria sitting on one of the bar stools, dripping wine off of her vestments, and there's broken glass all over the place.
Oh, you're already back. I expected you to be a little longer. Trouble with the wine?
They didn't have my drugs. There was someone peeping in our house, and our ghost bartender broke my wine bottle. I'll be upstairs. I'm so mad.
Well, all right.
So, Makaria, you turn around and you go to storm out. Can you make a dexterity saving throw?
No!
Make a dexterity saving throw.
Do trip here.
Okay, you stumble. You don't fall because you realize that someone has tied the laces of your boots together.
Ah!
So you're like, you almost fall. And then what do?
I cast the channel divinity turn undead.
Okay. What's the radius on that?
Like 30 feet or something.
All right, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah, well, I do it anyway.
Okay.
Out of spite.
Okay. And then what? Do you like take your boots off and walk barefoot outside and around upstairs? Or do you just like hop out of the room?
I think she like goes to try and take her boots off, and then they're like tied really like tightly together. And so she just like snarls and like forcibly kicks them off and like kicks them across the room and then storms upstairs barefoot. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good. So you leave. Rin and 8, you have returned home. Business as usual, it seems.
So what I was gonna do is Makari is not having much luck with this ghost, but maybe I'll have better luck. I take the coins that I've got out of my, like I put my purse basically like on the counter.
Yeah.
And I can't see the ghost, so I like look around the room and basically declare openly like, I am going to make this place better. And I'm going to do it with the money that I make. Stop ruining it and enjoy that it will soon look suitable again and maybe be open again.
Make a persuade check.
I'm not terrible at this. Yeah, 21.
You're definitely not terrible at it. Okay. All right. There is there's just like a faint, like there's quiet in the room, and you hear a squeak. Not like an animal squeak, but the squeak of something like on wood. And you look, the camera pans up, and you see one of the bottles on the shelf. It's an area you haven't gotten to get to clean yet. So the shelf's all dusty, and there's a bunch of broken bottles and stuff up there. One of the bottles has turned itself around on the bar on the shelf.
Can I like reach it?
Yeah, you walk over and take it down.
Go over and take it down. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's full and still like corked. It's a bottle of some kind of brandy or something.
Are there any suitable cups? I sort of declare.
No, there isn't.
No. Well, never mind. Like try and uncork it, sort of thing.
Okay.
And then like again, sort of like offer it around the room because I have no idea where this ghost is. Right?
Sure.
And then just
I'm good.
None for you. Take a little like drink of it just to show that like.
Yeah, it's really good.
They offered it to me. I'm like, all right. Well, I'll take that as a sign that we can work together.
I had an idea.
Oh, yes?
You have to walk out of the front door to get to the back. I could knock down that wall there, and we could go straight to the staircase.
I think it's best we not mess with the structural walls on the outside of the building.
The other one worked fine.
Yes, but the chimney was nearby to it. I think that probably helped, but I'm no architect and neither are you. I think we leave that to the professionals.
I'll ask someone.
Feel free.
Okay, cool. So the rest of the night goes uneventfully, with everyone eventually finding their way to bed, or its equivalent. So the next day, you wake up, meet with your friends down in the tap room of this new house, and set out for what do you bring with you on your little trek up Mount Waterdeep?
Water and rations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Do we need to consume another ration for today? Or do we
I take my climber's kit.
Yeah, you do. You do need to consume more rations because you don't have a source of like food.
Oh, I'm so
I need to go buy some.
Get out of here, Dave. Oh, you have to eat? Mm.
So that stuff, and of course, Rin is not dressed for climbing. She's dressed for meeting some important person.
Right?
She's gonna go and talk to you.
I love that idea that like you're the person that shows up for the mountain climb in like high heels. And you're like, what? When we get to the top, I gotta look good.
Exactly that. She's got like a fancy cloak on, and it's all like, it's very unsuitable, like her outfit in general, like for climbing.
Yeah.
Assuming there's gonna be some kind of path,
Yep. Yep.
Got her like violin case.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Not appropriately attached, but 8 has the like ropes and pitons and pitons. I'm never gonna be able to pronounce that word properly.
I think it's
Python. I don't know. It's not gonna be in the pronunciation guide.
Pythons.
Yeah, you don't want to bring pythons. That's. I got my climbing pythons.
I think it is pronounced. I think it is pronounced pitons.
Petan, I think. I am all about those Chilton climbing pythons, though. That's badass. That's a thing.
Wasn't that in Mother 3? As a rope sneak.
Yeah. Okay. Climbing nails. Big climbing nails. You want to head out?
Our climbing poutines.
Trust me, poutine does not help you climb walls at all. It doesn't.
I hope that I get to kill someone today.
I think we head out towards the mountain.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you head for Mount Waterdeep. So it is not a particularly long trek to get there. But I want to know like what your like angle of approach is here, because if we look, I'll bring everybody down here. There's like you got some options for the mountain, right?
Do we know where the cave is?
No, that's the other thing.
Is this an entrance?
That's the castle. That's Castle Waterdeep.
So it looks like over here the cliffs are a little flatter.
Yeah, you might want to head down.
Or we could go
here.
the cliffside walkway up by Blackstaff Tower and just go along those cliffs. Or yeah, there's a trail right there too.
Yeah.
We are going specifically to the area, or do we not know exactly where we're going?
Some cave.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. If we go from Troll Skull Alley, where we start, all the way to where like the wall is on the cliffside, there's a whole path along the wall that would take us on the backside of the mountain. So we wouldn't have to wander around the city as much, encounter humans.
Yeah, let me see what you know about. I wonder if the area is in here particularly.
So we take like Delzorian Street all the way across.
It looks like more like if we go from Delzorin Street to the high road and then go across Jolthun Street, it hits right where the cliffside walk is.
So Peak Top Airy is the headquarters for the Griffin mounts of the city guard.
Rad.
So if you take the Griffin from Stranglethorn, this is where you dismount when you get to Waterdeep. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm with you.
Can we kidnap a small child and then
walking
feed them
along
to
the
the
cliffside
griffin?
is a good plan.
That seems like a terrible idea.
I think
but then also, capturing a griffin.
I think the cliffside is a good plan. Yeah.
If we find any small animals or children, we should capture them and feed them to the griffin.
So you want to come in.
I did a path for you, Adam.
Nice. Okay, let me take a look. Dave is plotting it out. There you go. It's only
That's a couple miles.
It's only 15,000 feet. Okay. So yeah, because the entrance point on that path is you come in off Jolthun, past the Field of Triumph, and then up along the cliff. Okay, this is gonna be like an all-day hiking operation. It's a good thing it's not like full
that's
on.
only like 3-4 miles.
No,
right?
no, it's not full on summer yet.
A mile's 5,000 feet or something.
Yeah, it's like some. I don't know. I'm from Canada. I don't know how many kilometers it is.
What is exhaustion?
Yeah, so you set out and
5,200
and begin heading off on your eventual trek up Mount Waterdeep. And so I think before we take our second break, that's the shot, right? Is that we see the mountain, we see the city all like laid out, the sun, like you get a fairly early start, so the sun is still just coming up over the city, and you are heading off to climb the mountain to go and meet the monk that dwells atop it. So we'll start that when we get back. Don't go anywhere. Taking a short break, and then we're going to climb that mountain. Be right back. This stream is brought to you by Roll20, an easy-to-use virtual tabletop dedicated to making tabletop RPGs accessible to everyone. Join the adventuring party at roll20.net. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Roll20 Presents Waterdeep Dragon Heist, Waterdeep Mountain Climb. Unfortunately, in the distant past of 1370, whatever DR we're in, no one has invented 4x4s yet, so you're going to have to hoof it up the mountain. You're going to have
It's all Waterdeep hiking adventure.
That's right. You're going to have to...
There's no chairlift or anything?
No, sadly, there's no chairlift. Maybe in the winter they'll install, in the winter version of this, there's a ski off with Menshun. It's you and him, and it's a ski off for all the dragons. It's the big ending. It becomes like a goofy, like a winter sports movie for Christmas. I don't know. It's weird. This adventure gets strange at the end. This good thing it's a summer.
Also, like, have you walked 3 miles before? It's not that bad.
Well, that's 3 miles to get there, and then you got to climb, and then you got to climb a mountain. Well, then you got to climb a mountain.
That part I'm not fond of.
Yeah. Would you like to know how difficult it is for you to climb this mountain?
Can you carry me?
So there's no funicular. There's none of that. So let's have you roll. The way this is going to work, is the climbing of the mountain requires a Constitution saving throw. So it's going to take you like basically all day to climb up the mountain and schlep your stuff up there and look around. The mountain is quite, as you can see, like it's a tall mountain and it's quite like small in terms of the base. So it's sort of a peak. I would love to see like a side cut of Waterdeep because I think the way it's supposed to look is like the ocean. I'm doing a dumb drawing. The ocean and then like cliffs and then the rest of the city. So Waterdeep is like kind of here, like in this area. And then there's like the mountain up here where the area is. I think that's how Waterdeep, if you look at it from the south and then look north.
It would have to cliff up a bit and then go, because then it goes up again and then there's a wall, but then it goes down.
Yeah. There's a wall kind of here around the outside, but it looks like, because there's that flat section. Yeah, side cut of the city. But anyway, yeah, so you're going to hike up the mountain, and that is a Constitution saving throw from everyone, please.
Can I give someone with the worst Constitution the climber's kit to help
them? I think the climber's kit is more for like scaling. This is like getting worn down by the thing. So a climber's kit I don't think would help in this case.
Okay.
Jewel.
I can't get exhausted, so I'm just not going to roll. I won't get worn down. I never will.
You're like, yeah. So you ignore exhaustion.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So Makaria, you're fine. Jewel, you're fine. Rin.
Jewel got a 3.
Yeah. Jewel is not fine.
Jewel's
Rin's
fine. I mean, fine in the sense of you rolled. Okay. All right. So Jewel and Rin do not have a great time of it.
No.
It's hot and your legs ache.
I'm overdressed.
Jewel, you were built for short bursts of speed, not this long ass climbing mountains horseshit. Can both of you roll a D4 for me? Okay, Jewel, you have 2 levels of exhaustion, and Rin, you have 3.
Oh.
So let me look at how you're just freaking exhausted. So at level 1 for exhaustion, you have disadvantage on ability checks. At level 2, your speed is halved. At 3, you have disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws. 6 levels of exhaustion, you're dead. So it would not be a stretch for Rin to say that this by the end of this trip, you are feeling half dead.
Yeah, it's not great, this climb.
Yeah, so by the time you get together, you're just like, and we see you all come to a stop at there's like a little post that's been hammered into the like path that you're climbing up. And on it says like, I don't know, scenic Aronson Peak. And you like climb up. There's a little wooden bench there with a bunch of graffiti on it. Like scratched into it, and you can look out over the city. You see Castle Waterdeep, and that part of it's kind of nice. As you walk up, you're like, oh, yeah, it's a nice view. But so you stop here to like catch your breath. So what does everybody do?
Like not looking good. Standing here like trying to remain straight backed and composed as I have is very difficult.
Jewel is making no pretense. She is like making the noises that cats make when they're upset.
So low, yes.
Do we know where this cave is? Does anyone?
No idea.
I mean, this is the first time you've had a chance to like kind of look back at the mountain and like look around too, which is why I stopped you here so you can have a chance to.
Yeah, I guess like just glance around the mountainside to see if there are any things that look like caves.
Make a perception check.
Is anyone else glancing around with me or just me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I don't have disadvantage.
Yeah, the two of you take a look. So you have advantage on this. An 11.
I get an 11.
All right. From here, you do actually see a narrow path that splits off the main one. It's only like wide enough for maybe like 1-2 people. It's in some places, but at the far end, you see a little dark spot that could be a cave. 8. While you're searching around, you notice on the bench, you don't see like the cave or whatever. You notice on the bench, like I said, there's a bunch of graffiti scratched into it. You see someone has written, goblins are best in caves, and someone has scratched goblins off and written kobolds, and someone has scratched kobolds off and written goblins. And this continues like a dozen times over the back of the bench. But yeah.
I scratch it out and I put Warforged.
Excellent. So you get out your knife, just you write Warforged on there.
Do I even think I'm called a Warforged? I don't know. Actually,
I think that's an in-canon term. I think that's what they would call themselves. Yeah.
I point and I say that looks like it might be a cave. Who knows if it's the cave we're looking for? Do you two want to sit? Well,
I think I need more than a sit down, but let's continue. It's fine. I'll be fine.
Is there anything mechanically that can help with exhaustion?
Long rest.
That's it. Okay.
Every time you long rest, you get 1 level of exhaustion back.
Okay, I just didn't know if I might have like.
Or if you're like me, you just get to 2 levels of exhaustion, and then that's your life for the whole rest of your life. You just never get those back.
Yeah, it's gonna take me a while to get 3 fucking levels of exhaustion back.
Yeah,
I mean 3 nights, 3 days.
Yeah, but think about the pace of our.
Yeah. Anyway, do you want to sit while 8 and I check and see if this is the cave?
No, let's just go. I want to be done.
May as well come with you.
I exactly remember this feeling. This was, I don't know. They might have it in Canada. Do you have the Duke of Edinburgh Award?
No, we don't. But I'm familiar.
I did that, but not in America. I didn't in England. We got so rained out on ours.
If you're from Vancouver or have been there, this is the grouse grind. So I think as you turn, Makara, you're like, oh, it's this way. You hear a screeching sound, a loud screeching noise from above you, and you see, if you squint up against the sun, you see a dark shape like spiral around, kind of up above the mountain.
Death comes from above?
It's just a griffin from the peak, the Erie. Fine.
Shall I shoot it down?
No, leave it.
It's like 300 yards in the air anyway.
All right. Come on then, puny creatures.
I've never seen them this close before.
I mean, you can't really tell what it is. It's like a dark shape.
I mean, but it's still, I've never seen it.
Yeah, that's true. You've never actually seen a griffin before, so.
I just declared what it was. Yeah. Move on.
Okay. All right. So you wanna follow that lead along the mountainside there?
It's the only lead we got, so let's do it.
Okay. All right. So you start to make your way along there, and yeah, you do indeed see there is a cliff side with a little narrow walkway. There's some footprints in the dust, like sandaled footprints, and it's starting to feel like, yeah, you're like on track. You get within about 100 feet or so of it, and you hear that screeching sound again. And you see up above the mouth of the cave, there are several figures crouching around the edge of the mouth of the cave. And when you get within this distance, when you notice them, they let out a shrill sound and leap off of the cliffside towards you. So let's have everybody roll initiative, and we will
fighting.
We'll get in a fight.
I love.
Oh, I'm so not.
I love to fighting. Okay, so let me just put them on the map here.
So ready.
I had not selected my token.
How dare you? I'm hurt.
This is a very strange and long map.
It is. It's a long map. So okay, so that's everybody except Jewel. I can update you. Oh no, you're good. You're good, Jewel. We're good.
I re-rolled it, but you can change the number if you want to change it back to the original one.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. So let me roll for mine. All right, so let's go 1, and then their boss.
Oh my god.
2. All right. Oof. Fast, super fast, but not as fast as Rin. So what we see as the battle begins is Rin, you're the first to react. You hear this screech, and it's not a bird sound. It's like a hissing, like more guttural noise, and you see a group of 4 russet-skinned creatures. They have scales, long kind of snouts. Their underbelly is like furred, but they have scales on top, and then they have bat wings popping from their shoulders. They are carrying, it looks like some of them are holding like rocks under their arms, and they also have knives. And then there is a pale-skinned, it looks like a human at first, a human woman. But then you realize that from the knees down, she has gnarled like vulture legs. And big bird wings, big scraggly black bird wings coming out of her back. Her hair is torn out in chunks, and she has like elongated arms with gnarled looking claws on them. And and so she looks up at you, and she's not shrieking. The rest of them are like making horrible noises. Rin, what would you like to do?
The first thing I'm going to do is exhaustedly point a finger at the like woman.
Yeah.
And just declare disgusting, vicious mockery.
Gross, you're gross. It's gross. Okay.
So it's just a save or don't, so I don't have disadvantage or anything.
Nice. Good.
Nice choice.
And yeah, hit it up.
Okay. All right, Rin. So DC 13 wisdom save?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see. I got a 5.
Yay!
Got
okay,
a
so
whole
she takes
5.
One whole psychic damage.
Okay.
And is at disadvantage for whatever the next thing.
Okay, so she opens her mouth and like drool like drips down her grayish skin. And her teeth are all broken, and she snarls.
I also am going to use my bonus action, and where am I standing? And look over at Jewel, and say, please stab them very well, just as quickly as you can. I'm very tired. And Bardic Inspiration.
But I'm tired too.
Jewel is also tired.
Jewel wants to take a cat nap.
You don't have disadvantage on attack rolls, though, right?
You do.
No.
One of you does.
My speed is half to
I
now.
do.
Yeah, right. Only level 3. Okay. All right. So that's your turn, Rin.
That's it.
Okay. All right. So in response, the horrific creature, this harpy, like stretches her arms, unfolds her wings, takes a deep breath, and when she exhales, instead of like a terrible shriek coming out, this like haunting, beautiful sound flows from her dry, cracked lips. I need everybody to make a DC 11 Wisdom save.
Okay.
I love her.
I'm at disadvantage.
I'm going to use inspiration. I don't want her to use me to fight everybody else, and I suck at wisdom saves.
She opens her mouth and air horn noises come out.
No.
Yeah.
I still fail.
Okay, 8 and I are both like, yes.
Oh, okay.
All right. So those of you who failed this save,
Both the people who aren't exhausted.
yeah.
Mhm.
So you are charmed, which means you are incapacitated. So I think this is like a reeling kind of like thing. Let me find a good charmed icon for you. I need the little.
I'm in love with her.
Okay, and then Macaria. Okay, so while you are let's see, while you're so you're incapacitated. If you are more than 5 feet away, you have to move towards the harpy by the most direct route. You don't avoid opportunity attacks, but before moving into damaging terrain, and whenever you take damage, you can repeat the saving throw. Yeah, cool. Okay. People who successfully saved, you are immune for the next 24 hours. You're fine. Okay. So it means you can't take actions, but you can move, and you have to move towards the harpy if you're charmed. Okay. All right. So she lets out this like shrieking song, and she's gonna move over there. They're all about 40 feet up right now.
Oh, I don't even have disadvantage on that because as a half elf, technically, I have advantage on charm things.
Oh shit, yeah, I'm a half elf. So I have advantage.
You get to roll again.
roll
So you
one
should
Okay, roll
roll
one more time.
It's gonna be super relevant.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So you're only
not
the Warforged is so this song 8 sounds like probably to you it triggers the part of your brain that responded to like the Lord of Blades' like war calls, right? Like they were probably programmed like horn calls or like whatever battle songs, programs of drums. They were meant to like drive you to behave a certain way, and it just like cuts right through your conscious brain and goes right back to it goes right to your unconscious brain. Cool. Okay, here I'm gonna pull up the rules for exhaustion. There we go. Okay, cool. So now her little friends, her little like winged monkeys, they're gonna move, and they're 40 feet above y'all. They've got a flying speed of 30, so they start to approach. And they're still like flying flappily towards you through the air. And then they're going to hold their action. So they fly up and like hover, and they're like holding rocks and like hissing at you. 8.
Yeah, sure. I will move 30 feet towards her. Just.
Okay. All right. Cool.
At the end of your turn, do you get to take another? Just when you get dealt damage.
If the charm target is more than 5 feet away, then it must move on its turn toward the harpy by the most direct route. Doesn't avoid opportunity attacks. Cool. Yeah. So I think you have to double move.
Oh, I thought he couldn't take actions.
He's charmed.
Oh, that's right. You can't take actions. Yes, you only get your move action. You don't get the dash action. You're right.
Like how clear would it be that they're charmed?
Make an insight check to see. Here's the thing. This is the thing that might give it away. 8 is moving towards this thing, which is fine, but he's not drawing his sword.
Yeah, that's why. Because I'm like, he's moving, which is what Jewel would expect him to do or them to do. But
is she still singing, or is it like?
Yes, yeah, she is.
She is. Okay, that's really important information.
So Jewel, I don't think you know what's going on.
I have disadvantage, but I'm going to assume that a 7 fails either
Yes,
way.
a 7 does fail. Yeah.
Either way.
So it is. It's your turn, Jewel. What are you gonna do?
Okay, so as far as she's concerned, 8 is doing what 8's supposed to do, which is move towards the thing to kill it.
Yeah.
But she is very tired and she wants to take a nap. And the kobolds are how high in the air?
40 feet.
Okay. And so up here on the cliff, like on the side, is that something that would climb up and she could get closer to them? Or
if you have a movement speed, yes. Yeah, there's like 30 feet of cliff there, but you couldn't like get eye level with them.
Okay. I think she's gonna just kind of tuck around to like here and then just take aim at probably this one. Pull out her short bow. Is that within range? Short bow.
Yeah.
It's only 40
your
feet. 40 feet out and 40 feet up.
Your only effect, Jewel, is the speed is halved and you have disadvantage on ability checks. Okay.
Yeah, but they're too high in the air. Like she can't reach them with anything that's not. I don't know how likely it would be, but could I use my bonus action to hide? Can I? Is there something I can hide?
Some like shadow around. Like as long
so
as
she's gonna kind of like tuck in, hide, pull out her short bow, and then try and ping one of them for some sweet old sneak attack. Okay. I will hide with disadvantage.
Sure.
And by hide I mean stealth, because hide is not a check.
The hide and move silently separate checks. Those were good old days.
Yeah, exactly. They can't see you, but they hear you. They can't hear you, but they can see you. Okay, all right. Yep. So you hide and then immediately use that to fire.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Yes, you hit.
Okay. And that gives me sneak attack because I should have had advantage, right?
Yes, because you don't have disadvantage on your attack rolls. So you have advantage because you are a because you're
you would have crit.
I can re-roll. Let's see if I would have crit.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I always forget.
No. Ooh, I did not. No cigar.
Okay, that's fine.
So 10 damage.
You kill him anyway. So you fire your bow, boom, hit the thing, and it spirals down, bounces off the cliff, like tumbles down and lands here on the rocks.
You can pick him off. She feels pretty good about it.
Okay. Makaria?
So I know that my allies, 2 of them, are feeling not so great. And I really want to kill people, but I know that they probably have a better chance of killing them than I do. So I'm going to cast Bless on my friendos, not on myself. And it lasts up to a minute. And what it looks like is so Merkel for a minute was contained in the crown of horns. So like you see like a weird visage of this crown of horns, like a black gem, and then the 4 like bone horns that like appears on all of your heads, and then like
whoa, it's a very oppressive blessing.
Yeah, you feel like the need to kill rising, and also maybe raise the things you kill and make them an undead army. I don't know. It's confusing and great. So that's what I do.
Nice.
And
good.
I think that's probably all that I do.
Okay.
Because everything else is like a whole action. Yeah, I don't really have any like. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Cool. Rin, your turn.
Rin has her violin out. She strikes it once and then yells at the harpy, "Stop singing!" and then Tasha's hideous laughter.
Okay.
Which I will link for you. I think it's a 13 again, but I'll put it anyway.
It will be.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a 13.
Oh, and I should add in concentration stuff for Bless.
The range is 30 feet.
Oh, yeah, you're too far away for Tasha's.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you're right.
No, you'll have to get closer, and she's like up in the air too.
Okay, well, fuck it.
It's a really good plan. It will help.
It's like my only good plan. Yeah. Okay, well, I guess I'll just like move forward then.
Okay.
To there. And I'll do something else instead. Let's just hang on. Wait a second. I need to check something. That has a 60-foot range, so that'll work. I'm instead going to cast Dissonant Whispers instead of Tasha's Hideous Laughter. So that is this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's 60-foot range, so I think I'm in range now. And it's a wisdom save, and then they take 11 if they fail, and if they fail, they have to move as far away as possible.
Okay. All right, so it's wisdom. Here we go. DC 13. Nope.
Okay, so they take 11 psychic damage, and they have to is it their turn? No, it's immediately use a reaction to move as far as your speed allows away.
Okay. She will fly.
They are struck with fear.
She'll fly straight up in the air. Okay, so she flies up in the air.
If I get directly below her and still have to keep moving, do I just have to try and jump?
Yeah, you'll have to climb. Like, once you get to the edge of the mountain, you have to start climbing up it. You just have to keep trying to get close to her.
Okay, that was my best plan, everyone.
Okay, all right. The harpy will use... it doesn't stop her from singing.
Does she have to concentrate?
No. So she starts her turn, uses a bonus action to continue singing.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I think she's gonna move laterally. She's gonna move this way, I think. Yeah, she moves over here and keep singing. Okay. So the kobolds, one of them flies over you, Rin. So
okay,
it's 20 feet to you, and then another 20. It'll fly like past you. I think they have 10 more after. So it ends up, hold on, from you 10 feet. So out there, and drops a rock on you as it flies by.
Mm-hmm.
A little kobold bombing run, and clunk for 7 damage.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, so it just flies by and then drops this rock, and it comes in and you try to dodge, and it bang hits you in the shoulder. And then this one, let me see here. Do like that, same thing. So it'll fly overhead and then scoot back.
Cool.
That one's a 15.
I think that still hits me. Yeah, it does.
Oof, for 9.
I'm down.
Okay. And then,
oh no, Rin.
And then this one's gonna move over here and hold its action. Okay, so these two, I got a note. They've dropped their rocks. They gotta go fly back and get more. Rock dropped. And rock dropped. Okay. All right. 8. Okay.
That's me.
That's you.
Are you sure I don't get to save?
You do not.
Ooh.
You're gonna get one more saving throw when she tries to walk you off the cliff.
A creature can also repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns.
Where? What?
Right.
Ah, man, this is
Says
so...
it right
bottom.
there.
Wow,
Yeah.
there's like 3 different places you can save. Okay, yeah, go ahead then.
Can I have it for the last turn?
No,
And then
just
take
just
this
do it.
turn.
Just do it this turn. We're not gonna roll back.
What's the...
Wow, there's
No,
like
we'll fail
there's
anyway.
like 3 saves for this. That's so weak. Okay, yeah. So you're fine now. So at the end of this turn, then you're good.
Woohoo!
Okay.
You've done it.
There you
Which
go.
one will be taken? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, the blue is your blessing. Cool.
Oh, I love that one.
Okay. Jewel.
Is she still hidden from the one that has a rock?
No, you're not hidden as soon as you fired, right?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
you
right.
got your
Okay.
bow.
She doesn't like that it still has a rock because that seems most likely that it's gonna land on someone as opposed to the ones without rocks that are gonna have to go get more rocks. So she's gonna just back up if she needs to. I don't think she does, and take a shot at it.
Okay.
So, pa-ching! Except sadly, 20.
Yeah, you hit.
Without the sneak attack, it is 8 damage.
Okay. Yeah, you kill it.
Nice.
No, stop throwing rocks at my friend.
Okay. So anything else, Jewel?
I think she just like yells at H. She's like, "Yeah, go get the harpy."
Okay.
She had no idea anything was
Where
wrong.
am I? What's going on?
Makaria, it is your turn.
Okay, so Elf, you were down. Is that right?
I am indeed, yes.
Actually, I can probably heal you. Yeah. I'm not gonna do that.
I can do some stuff.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'll just heal you instead, and you get the max because of my which one is it? Circle of Mortality? Yeah. So you get, what's the max for cure wounds? It's 1d8 plus 3.
So 11.
Oh, 11 HP.
Sweet. Thank you.
So I like go, and I think that like I've decided what this looks like, and it's really cool and gross. So the way that she casts cure wounds is there's like a somatic component. So she makes she traces like a rune in the air, and it creates like a Doctor Strange kind of like circle thing, you know, and then she reaches her hand through it to touch you, and when her hand passes through it, it's just like skeleton fingers. And then like she touches you with the skeleton fingers.
That's cool. Yeah.
And gives you some life back.
Cool.
It's great.
Rin like coughs and sputters back to life. She's lying there on the ground like very tired.
Cool. All right. Anything else, Makaria?
No, I think that's it. I do have to have been next to her, so moved up.
Cool. I'm gonna stand up.
Okay.
So it's most of all my movement. And then I'm going to what am I gonna say this time? I'm gonna point at one of the kobold, like the flying kobolds.
Yeah.
I think they're kobolds anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Point at one of the flying kobolds. You're like, that was a lucky shot. Next time, you can't possibly be so lucky. And vicious mockery.
Okay.
DC 15 wisdom save on this fellow, or 13. Sorry.
Okay. They're not very wise. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
2 psychic damage, and then he also has to beat at disadvantage next turn.
Okay.
Ooh.
So you say that, and the kobold like turns and looks at you, and we get a snap tight like shot of his beady yellow eyes, and we cut back to there's a nest. We see a little like nest on a cliffside somewhere, wind like howling past it. We see a kobold with an apron on, and we see this kobold, and he's putting his little hat on and tying his little tie, and they're talking, and the kobold with the apron is like shouting at him and like waving a wooden spoon and pointing at a big pile of eggs, and he shakes his head, and she like waves the thing and points, and there's a picture of the harpy, and they're like squabbling, and he's just like, he says something and he storms out, and then it fades back to this scene. Great. So, so the kobold like looks at you like he doesn't understand your words, but you've wounded him deeply.
I speak Draconic, I think, so. I do, yes, I speak Draconic. So.
Excellent. Okay.
In fact, it is in Draconic that I say.
Perfect. Then he understands that it hurts even more. Okay. So Rin, do you want to move or are you good?
I can't move, Adam. I stood up and I'm exhausted.
That's true. You did. Okay. All right. Well, you've all saved against the harpy. So she flies off, I think. I think she flies up this way somewhere. You see her just like turn around and flap off. The kobolds.
No, the XP is getting. Wait, we're doing milestones. Never mind.
It doesn't matter.
Care.
See you later, XP. It doesn't even matter. All right, so they fly back over here, and they take an action to recover their their rocks. They go back. They fly back and pick up more rocks. And one of them's like, I'll show you all. They thought this was a bad job. All right, 8. It's your turn.
Yeah. I'm going to shoot one with the bow.
Okay.
I don't remember which one was damaged, so I'll just attack the top one. Because I'm done. Sorry, I normally pay attention to that, but I wasn't.
So far, Jewel has killed all of the ones that she has shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jewel's picking them off one round at a time.
As a 24 hit.
It certainly does, yes.
5 damage to the top one.
Okay. All right. It's still alive, but you fire and pink.
And I move in front of my friends, so maybe they'll drop rocks on me instead.
Okay. All right. Jewel?
Can I don't think I can shoot them from here, right? I assume I don't have line of sight.
No, there you can see them. They're up on they're up on the side.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
they're like up.
I guess for some reason I was imagining the cliff was getting in my way.
Oh,
I was trying to make my life difficult.
No, you're okay. It's fine.
They're hide again.
Th're like up. Yep. Yeah, as long as you're kind of in the shadowy sections on the side, like you're all in shade, but this is the.
Yeah, she's like, let me show you how this is done, and then she's gonna shoot at the one that he didn't shoot at.
Okay. Yeah, shoot the other one.
So the uninjured one, which I think is that one.
Okay.
With advantage. Oh wait, do you want me
to
roll
stealth first? Yeah.
Oh, fine.
Whatever, you might blow it.
I might actually blow it because I have disadvantage. 18.
You're fine.
I say it all now. And now I roll to shoot it with advantage. The 22. I'm glad I had advantage.
Yep, you hit it.
Even though I have all this inspiration and stuff. And 9. More than 9. 12 damage. Math is hard.
Yeah, you hit it with all the math in the world and it dies. Yeah, so you just fire and it hits the thing. It's like shooting geese. Like it's no problem. It's like they're fine. Down it goes. Tumbles down the cliffside.
Haven't even needed my blessing. Or my inspiration.
Makaria?
I appreciate that it's there though.
Go fight win. Sorry, do I have anything? It's ability check. This is saving throw.
The classic bing bong.
They're like, I think that they are farther than 60 feet from where I am right now.
Yeah,
because they're also in the air.
Give them no bing bong. Give them the bing bong. Ring a bell. Ring a ding, those guys.
Yeah, I don't feel like stepping out from my protection behind 8, so I will prepare that if they get within 60 feet of range, I will toll the dead on the last one.
Okay. All right. So if they get within that range. All right. Rin?
I'm gonna
mock him again.
Yeah, I'm gonna shout after him. Like, yeah, you best run, you coward! Basically.
Okay, all right.
And give him the old mockery.
I love this, that you're not killing him. So he fails and takes one damage. Still alive. So same kobold, right? So you're like, you're a failure. You're the worst. So we cut back. We see the nest. And we see his little kobold wife, and she's like putting on lipstick in a polished piece of rock, and like putting on some lipstick, like smirching her little. And then we hear a kobold noise, and she turns around, and we see this huge, beefy kobold wearing like cut off denim shorts. And he like flexes his muscles at her, and she like fans her face and like falls over. And we see him walk over to her. And then we see hiding at the edge of the nest, scowling in his little hat and his tie. We see this other kobold, and he's like, and it's like hissing angrily at what's happening in his nest.
I mean, can you really?
I know, right? I know. This big beefy kobold, so handsome. All right, so the winged kobold, in a fit of rage, flies as far as he can and gets within range of your spell. Makaria, if you'd like to use it.
Fuck off and die.
Okay, all right. DC 13
God,
wisdom.
you survived again.
Might survive.
Won't survive.
Ah!
He gets a crit. However, you only had 1 hit point left. So he's just like, "Argh,
No, he
argh."
doesn't take any damage.
Oh, he takes none? Okay,
None.
great. So he's just like, and he like picks up the rock and flies towards you and you're like, bong, and he just ignores it. Death has no meaning for this kobold.
This kobold.
All right, so he's flown 30 feet. So he flies, he can't attack. So he flies another 15. And yeah, and he doesn't get to drop his rock yet, but he will soon. 8.
I'm gonna shoot him with a bow.
Okay.
Poor guy. Poor guy. 70.
You hit him. Yep, roll damage.
8.
Okay. All right. So he flies over the rock and then just continues his journey down into the ravine, bouncing off the rocks, tumbling, and lands at the bottom of the ravine. And we see his like crumpled kobold body lying at the bottom of the ravine, looking up, and he reaches up. He's like, eh. And then the rock that he dropped finishes tumbling down and just lands on him. And we just see his little hand go, and that's it. He's dead.
Take inspiration.
Thank you. Yeah, the secret and often traumatizing inner lives of humanoids in Dungeons and Dragons. So it doesn't seem like the harpy, you look around and it seems like she's flown off somewhere. But yeah, the kobolds have been dispatched.
Well, I
anyone
certainly
else do
hope
that?
our monk wasn't living in a cave surrounded by kobolds because
I'm
that would-
sure we are about to find out.
Yeah, you want to go and
Okay,
explore?
let's
the
do
cave?
this because I'm tired and I want to take a nap. Like she's putting away her bow. Like it was
You
a lot.
realize
That
that
was a
we
lot of
still
effort.
have to go all the way back down, right?
Yeah, but down is easier than up. I can roll down.
Rin's trying to get all the dust of having laid down on this road off of her cloak. It's not going very well.
So you so you come to the mouth of this cave, and inside you can see as you peer in, there is a figure. You see a human figure. He's sitting cross-legged facing the back wall of the cave. There is sitting next to him, there is a candle, and there are shadows dancing on the wall. You see some shadows like moving on the
Oh
back,
my
the back
god, I
wall.
trained exactly for this. It's part of my degree. It's okay, the monk. We're the platonic ideal of adventurers and therefore are suitable to rescue you from the situation.
Yeah, check out our platonic solids. We have many of them.
No.
So yeah, you just see this guy. He's bald, wrinkly, looks old. He's at a bit of a distance. He's just sitting there with his like legs folded. Yeah, and so what do you want to do?
Walk up to him.
Yeah, so you just like walk in.
Do we remember what the name of this dude was supposed to be?
Like Clam or something.
Hlam. It's Hlam.
Oh, I totally
Clam.
remembered. Oh my god.
Do you want to see his face?
Yeah.
I've got a handout for Hlam.
Show me Hlam.
Okay, let me see here. There's
If he doesn't look like Plato.
there's the grim face of Hlam. He'd be
Do
played by Billy Crystal, almost
Yeah.
certainly.
Yeah, see that.
you truck with kobolds and harpies, good sir, or do you just let them linger outside your house to attack anyone who would try and speak with you?
So he holds a hand up, as if to silence you. He doesn't turn; just holds his hand up.
8, can you just like grab him?
I've brought you a message from the Blackstaff. Vajra Safar.
What is lighter than a feather? But even the strongest man cannot hold it for long.
Seriously, 8, can you just grab him and we can take him down the
Lighter
mountain?
than a feather,
Wait,
but even
I
the
like
strongest
riddles.
man cannot hold it for long.
Responsibility.
Breath, it's breath.
And he
breath.
nods and he turns around and he nods. He says, oh, very good. Very good. Now tell me, why can you
Will
not...
you not let us talk?
Why can you not trust gravity?
Always lets you down.
Very good. And he like claps his little dry hands together.
8, please.
What?
Are we not?
Comes 1 time in today, 3 times in tomorrow, but never in the future.
O.
T.
The letter O.
Q.
It's
F.
3 times in tomorrow. It's in tomorrow 3 times. What?
So so Makaria says it. He's like, very good. And he claps.
I'm not here to be tested, fool.
And he shakes his head and he says, no, fool, I am Hlum, and you have found my sanctum. Welcome. Welcome. It's not much to look at, but, well, I'm a monk. What do I care?
The Black Staff would like a report.
And he gets up and he like makes a big show of. He's like, oh, my old bones. Oh boy. Oh. You wouldn't happen to have any wine on you, would you?
No.
Really? None of you? You look like the drinking sort.
I have some. I'm not going to give it to you.
Oh, why not? Give an old monk some wine. You want some more wisdom? I've got so much wisdom.
Yes.
And he says, all right, mechanical man, don't take any wooden nickels. Now, how about that wine? And he turns back to you, Makaria.
I'm not a...
She takes out her like water flask or whatever she has her wine in, and she looks him straight in the eye and just like drinks it.
Oh, that's not very nice.
Well, we were nearly killed coming up here. You don't seem very grateful.
I heard the ruckus outside. Thanks for dealing with those kobolds for me. I've been stuck in this cave a long time. Don't go into the back. And he like winks.
Why?
Why?
Because he defecated there.
Oh,
Eight.
Repeatedly. I can
I'm
smell
given
it.
to understand that that's disgusting.
He says,
Plum,
wait,
focus just a moment.
yes.
The Black Staff would like a report. You've been out of contact for some time.
Yes, I've been meditating.
Well, meditation is at its end for the moment.
Would you like me to teach you one of my special monk techniques?
I would like you to say
Yes.
whatever it is that the
So he walks over to you, 8, and he says, all right, here we go. So take your big metal hand and put it out like this in front of your face. And then he just pushes the back of your hand so you hit yourself in the face.
He tries to push it, and I'm just...
Yeah, he tries. He's like,
wait.
okay, here, make it a post strength check. Make an athletics check.
Okay, that seems fair. 30.
So it's even funnier. So he's just like, like pushes in your hand. He's like, let me try again. All right, well, never mind. It's an advanced technique. Maybe you're not ready for it. Let me see. I think I got a chariot around here I can get you to wax for me. So, the old Blackstaff sent you, huh? Yeah, she's been sending me magical mail sometime looking for revelations. Listen, I'm working on it. Okay? I did everything I was supposed to do. I left the monastery. I climbed all the way up that God's blasted mountain, which, by the way, is very tall. I need to speak to whatever god is in charge of making these mountains so big. They couldn't have put me up a hill. You know, you never hear about monks going up a hill and going into a cave. It's always a mountain or a desert or something inconvenient like that. You know, I think that we should establish a new hermitage, like in a tavern maybe, or at a spa, or in a brothel. Ooh, a brothel hermitage. That'd be all right. What was I saying?
Rin, did we need anything from him other than
I
his head?
I look over to you and I
Just like cleaning her dagger for no reason.
Vajra just told me, us, to listen to whatever he said and then bring it back down. That's it.
I think we should bring him back down.
No, that wasn't part of the plan.
Preferably.
Do you need to come back down, monk?
And he says, well, now that you mention it, I was sort of considering being finished with this whole hermitage thing. But with the kobolds and that nasty flying woman out there, I thought maybe if I'd ignored them long enough, they'd go away, or I'd have some kind of revelation. An epiphany. What do you call it when you jump in the bath and everything? You're like, you realize that you made the water. What's that? Eureka! I was waiting for one of those. But I gotta tell you, the only thing reeking around here is me. Spend a week up this mountain by yourself, can't have a bath. What do you think?
8.
Yes.
What revelation have you come to?
Can you just grab him? He'll probably continue talking for the rest of the way down. There's no reason to stay in this awful, smelly cave.
I'm with Makari on this one. I want to go home.
Oh, there, kitty.
I'm not a kitty.
Rin is trying really hard to remain focused on this. Like, this is a task for a great wizard. Must do what I'm fucking told to do.
I mean, she just wants
She's
to hear
also
from him.
super exhausted.
She can hear from him from his mouth, and then she can listen to him.
She can deal with all of this bullshit, and if he wants to
Forever.
come back, then he can trek up the mountain again by himself. 8, can you just grab him, please? Let's go.
Oh, the other two look more tired. Perhaps I should carry them.
I'll be fine. I just want him to be quiet.
And Halam is like, let me just gather my things. And he very slowly shuffles over to a backpack, and he opens it, and he pulls out 2 identical looking monk outfits, and he's like, I don't think I have room for both. What do you think? Summer look? Spring? Summer? What do you think? You like
Which
this
one's
one?
cleaner?
This one's slimming, but this one's more comfortable.
I don't care if you walk down the mountain naked. We're going.
And he says, that was illegal last time I left the city, unless they've changed the law about public nudity, because...
There actually isn't one.
Well, hallelujah! And he starts taking his clothes off. He starts taking his shirt off.
Your clothes on.
Whoa,
really-
what's wrong? Are you ashamed of the body that gods gave you?
No,
I'm ashamed of the body the gods gave you.
Well, you don't want to get an eye full of lamb jerky? Look at me. I'm in prime condition. And he flexes little noodle muscle. What do you think?
8.
Here, let me help you pack. And Jewel puts most of his stuff in the bag, but anything that looks interesting, she 100% pockets for herself.
Can you just hit this man over the head?
What?
Oh, come on now. We can be friends.
No, we cannot be
Yes,
friends.
we can. Please tell me what the black staff needs to know.
Well, I don't know. I'm not the black staff. What did she send you up here for?
She sent us up here to find out if you had died and to hear anything that you had to say and report back to her.
All
She's
right.
been trying to get
right.
in contact with you.
I can see my time up here is not done. The world isn't ready for the wisdom of Halam. I need to meditate further, but if that black staff whippersnapper needs some wisdom, you tell her Halam needs a sandwich, like a big juicy one, like a Reuben. You tell her that.
No, serious.
With some lemonade. Or a beer. It's parched work up here.
Please.
I don't think he's meditated any wisdom.
Can we just...
Well, that is also an answer, I suppose. Let's go.
What?
Oh, but we were having so much fun. Well, where are you going?
We'll leave you to your
Are we leaving?
terminable boredom.
Are we
Unless
really
you
leaving
tell
him
me
here?
something I need to know.
I think the
Enjoy
best
being
idea-
alone for another 3 weeks.
Why don't we just bring him to the Blackstaff? She can deal with him.
Because she didn't tell us to bring him.
She told us to get information from him, right? Well, he's not giving us information, so let's just bring
She said, and I quote, pulls the book out, like reads through it. Where are we? Listen to what he has to say and bring me back anything that he does. Check if he's alive. That's it. We don't need to bring the old man.
Okay, that sounds way more preferable. Let's go then.
So we could have just lied.
She's like pocketed his stuff and everything.
So he doesn't have anything. He's a monk, so he doesn't have anything of value or use.
Interesting.
But you're like fine. We did the job. We came up here. We talked to him. We're gonna leave. And then you get ready to go. You turn around to leave. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you turn around and you leave, and he says, "Oh, hold on. Maybe I can tell you something to take with you."
Really?
It's coming to me. And then he just farts loudly, and it's like a long one.
I leave.
Just like a long, squeaky.
I leave. I leave.
He lifts one sandaled foot off the ground and really leans into it.
I never give him another thought in my whole life. He's
Joel's 100% just taken his bag, the one that she was packing for him, and just has that half shouldered over. It's useless, but she's like, whatever, it's mine now.
So you walk out and back out onto the path, and and so you walk out into the open. And what do you do? Is this just are you kind of arguing on your way back down the mountain?
Down the mountain.
Okay. So what is
shield stuff like in the Zelda game?
Huh?
Just
Can I do that?
No, you can't shield surf. You'll just fall and die. Okay, so you all walk off, and we kind of fade out on that. And we fade back in on Hlam in his cave, and the shadow on the wall, the candle is sitting in front of him, and there's a shadow, but it's being cast by nothing. We can see an outline of a person's shape, and Hlam is speaking, and he apparently can hear someone speaking because he's talking to someone. He's like, "I don't know. They're young. They seem impetuous. I don't know what to think of that mechanical man. No sense of humor among any of them. The cleric's a bore. There's something strange about that half-elf woman. I don't know, dearie. You should keep an eye on these ones. They smelt like Zentarum to me. Dangerous, yes. Hell, keep your enemies close, isn't that what they say? I think so, too. Well, good luck with this batch." And the shadow flickers and then turns back to nothing, to just blank cave wall. And he closes his eyes, and you hear him hum, and start humming to himself. And and that's where we fade to our last break. So we see you descending the mountain. We get the pullback shot, and that's it. Cool. All right, stick around. We'll conclude today's episode when we return. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's the conclusion of today's episode. Roll20 presents Waterdeep Dragon Heist. That apparently is just like getting drunk and picking fights.
Apparently.
Going to weird stores, climbing a mountain, and getting farted on by old men. It's fine. It's just, it's a wacky adventure in the city of Waterdeep.
Time to go back to visit Blackstaff Tower.
That's right. So you want to head there. I guess by the time you get back down, you're like double extra exhausted. And
I guess we can sleep first.
Yeah. Do you want to go back the next day, or do you want to?
Kind of on the way, isn't it?
Yes, but the humans are exhausted and
you're fucking tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like what?
There's no humans.
Time is it?
Yeah. So it would be like it's like an all day thing to get all the way out there, and then climb all the way up the mountain, climb all the way back down the mountain. Yeah.
I'm fine with whatever. So if we wanted to go back to Troll Skull and like take a rest before we go visit your best friend, the Blackstaff, we can do that.
I don't mind going to the Blackstaff now because it is kind of on the way back, and I don't know, unless it's like the middle of the night, it's efficient. But
it's also the middle of the night.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it would be the middle of the night, but the problem is it's so the thing that I would say like Rin maybe. You're not necessarily like looking your best, right? You just climbed up a mountain and climbed back down. Like if you want to make a good impression,
not presentable.
You're not particularly presentable anymore. Yeah.
I was going to have 8 make that observation in character.
Yeah.
I think Rin is being too polite to say that she would like to look her best for the meeting.
Oh, yeah.
It's
okay.
Important to impress important people.
Nap time.
Makaria is just like doing the like raised eyebrows, like, yeah, and you were objecting to my whole thing about you worshiping power. Right, okay.
Like, give you the side eye that's like, I'm tired right now, but I would argue with you if I had the wherewithal.
Makaria gets the side eye so often you can only see her in your peripheral vision. Like that's it. She's just always like over here somewhere.
It's the level 20
permanent side eye.
Yeah, so like level 20 death domain cleric ability. It's just like mostly invisibility.
Yeah. Okay, so it's back to the house. Rest. Yeah. Okay, so everybody mark off a ration, have your rest, and the next day you're feeling much better, though still pretty fucking exhausted. So you mark off anybody who has exhaustion, mark off a level of it, and then we return. So the next day, you set out for Blackstaff Tower. Yeah.
Yep.
That's the plan. Okay.
I think so.
Do you think that while you are distracting the Blackstaff, I could sneak away and explore the tower?
No.
I don't think it's wise to go snooping through somebody's very magical, very enchanted, very difficult to navigate tower.
Yes, it was a question of can, even before we factor in should.
Should. Never thought I'd hear that from you, 8.
I have opinions on things.
That's right, they do.
Well, fine.
Best to knock and ask when it comes to important people. You can look around their house all you want, but I promise if you decided to touch something, it probably wouldn't go well for you. And I say this from experience. Robbing wizards doesn't work well.
I wasn't gonna.
Only if you get caught.
Yes, well, some of us aren't as sneaky as others.
Is that what happened to you?
Like, maybe.
Interesting.
Like,
well, let's just get it over with then.
It's like a sullen maybe.
Go find this piece of work. black
I
woman.
I think we head there, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. All right, so you head there, and you arrive at Blackstaff Tower, and from the outside, as before, it just seems like empty and abandoned. But the Blackstaff has been expecting you, and so when you walk through the gate, the same thing happens as before, as you're able to walk into the sort of garden outside. And it's like, it's busy. There's people talking and moving around. It's like being on a campus because there's like a wizard academy here. So there's stuff going on. And you walk in, and what do you do? Do you wait around for her?
Is there anyone like familiar? Because I ran into that teacher before, right? Or that like the student or whatever last time.
No. There's you don't see that one person in particular. But you could probably just like grab someone and be like, "Hey, we're here to see the Blackstaff."
Nobody familiar, but I mean, I would sort of get the attention of the nearest person with any kind of authority or looked like they were leading something.
Yeah, so you see nearby, you see a rather pudgy halfling, which is saying a lot. He's short and it's kind of spherical. He's got this enormous belt, trying to hold his pants up, and it's like studded with wands. He's probably got like a half dozen wands, and.
Damn.
There's another person near him. There's a human girl. She's like 12 or so, and she's got a wand. And he's like telling her how to use it. He's like, "No, you have to point it aggressively. Show the wand who's boss." And you see the two of them, and he looks over and he smiles. He has big like round rosy cheeks. And he smiles and he waves and he looks at this girl and he's like, "Now try it again. You're gonna know it'll work when the fire comes out the end. Point it away from your face." And he walks over to you, his little bare feet in the grass, and he looks up and he says, "I know you. I seen you around."
You know us.
Well, I mean, I don't know you. We never met.
Well, we were here a few days ago, speaking with the Blackstaff, hoping to do so again.
And he extends a hand. A little squishy hand, and he's like, "I'm Falco."
Rin reluctantly shakes his hand. Like, tries not to look reluctant, but makes it as short a handshake as possible.
Yeah, I want to see if he notices. What's the DC for noticing your discomfort?
I think probably like a 10 or 11. Like, it's probably not that hard.
Okay, so he sees it, and he's like, "Oh, not a toucher. I understand. Completely fine." And he says, "I just, halfling, we're huggers. A handshake's like a word from across the room for us. But I understand. You got boundaries. That's cool. That's good. I was just teaching some of the kids how to use wands. It's hard work. You ever use one of these things? Half the time."
I've seen a great many of them, but I've never used one.
Well, I hope you were on the right end of them, because some of these things, right, nasty business.
Just a spectator.
And he looks, and he says, he sees the rest of you, and he says, "So I guess you're here to see the Blackstaff."
Yes, indeed.
All right, well, then come this way. Come on.
We follow along with our pudgy halfling friend.
Yeah.
Named Falco.
His name is Falco.
Is that what I heard?
Yeah,
Falco.
Yeah. So he leads you. Yeah, he leads you to the door, and it opens as he approaches. And and inside in the first like main room, you see the Blackstaff, and she's standing under like an enormous. This is a different first room than when you came in the first time. This one is like an audience chamber almost. So it comes in. There's a little veranda and then a drop of like Colosseum style seating, and then in the middle there's a big metal orrery that is glowing, and there's like planets moving around it, and you see Vajra, and she's explaining to a group of other wizards, and she says, "I know that it doesn't make any logical sense, but that's the basic thing." Oh, excuse me, and he gets up and walks, and she walks over towards you.
Don't stop the lesson on our account.
And she walks up and she says, no, not a lesson exactly, just explaining some ideas that I had. She puts her arms down. It's neither here nor there. Maybe for another time. And she turns and she says, I see Falco brought you to me. Thank you, Falco. And he nods, and his little curls like bounce in his head. And he says, if milady will excuse me, I have a student who at this point has probably lit herself on fire. So excuse me. And turns to you. And he's like, it was a pleasure, all of you. Thank you. If I'm still here tomorrow, it'd be nice to see you again. I've been Falco. You're lovely. And he like walks off.
Goodbye.
And yeah.
We'll leave them to Rin and just whispers, are all wizards this weird?
Many of them. I think it's more just the single word, like eccentricities.
Yeah, and so Vajra, she hears you say that, and she says, if we're lucky, eccentricity in a wizard is good. We can control that, manage it. It's the madness that makes things difficult. Nobody wants another Halaster.
Well, the more you have to learn, the wider your mind has to reach, and then the more possible it is for you to fall into bad places. More so, I've heard.
A cleric of Tempest once told me that an open mind is like a fortress with its gates unbarred. I don't believe in that. Keeping the mind locked up like that. Shakes her head.
Neither do I.
Well, good. So, speaking of learning, and she starts to walk with the intention of like, walk with me. Like, you follow me because I'm going to walk. And
walking.
Yeah. So, you met with Lam? What did you think?
An old man who has been lonely for far too long.
You don't have bless anymore.
No. I just wanted to see how much I thought I gleaned from it.
Okay.
I bite my tongue.
Yeah, so I think it actually does say, I don't think we were supposed to find anything from him.
Is that so? What makes you think that?
He was putting on an act.
And?
There was more to him than the joke, I believe.
Isn't that normal? Don't we all have costumes we wear? And she looks at you, Rin, when she says that. Just like a side glance.
Like...
You cluck nervously. And she says, we're all expected to behave one way and act and speak and dress another way so that people will think what we want them to think of us. And when she says that, she looks at Makaria.
And what do you want people to think of you?
It depends on the people. Most people, I want a distant respect. That's what this is for. And she like taps the staff on the floor and it like crackles. And she says, when people look at me, most of them, they don't see the woman. They see the staff. They see the office, the power. People that look any further, well, that's more difficult. The closer we let people get to us, the better they know us, and the more likely they are to find flaws.
Yes. Well, you asked us to bring back anything we knew or learned from him. We learned that he's alive. That was something you were unsure of. And we learned that he's probably very lonely. The way he was acting, didn't want us to leave, it seemed.
He's also strong as I am.
Well, if I ever need someone to beat Hlam in an arm wrestling competition, I'll let you know, Aid.
Yes.
I think living in a city like this can be exhausting. Some people need to escape. Some people move to the countryside, pick one of the dales and start a farm. Other people find solace in a cave on a mountain. I try not to judge. I was worried about him, and you did as I asked. So
surrounded by winged kobolds and a harpy, no less.
Well, the griffins have to eat something, don't they? So you did as I said, and I appreciate that. And quickly, too. Thank you. How was your meeting at the tavern?
We were paid for a task we'd already completed.
And she nods.
No reason to let resource just sit there.
No, of course. And what did Davil think of what you had to tell him about the Brigandere? You told him, I assume.
We told him. He seemed, how would I put it? Not unconcerned, but he seemed like he knew what he was dealing with when we told him that.
Davil has a lot on his shoulders, and he's about to get a lot more. Things have been getting more complicated these days in Waterdeep when it comes to organizations like his. Any member of the Zentarum or the Xanathar's Guild, or I suppose, if they're operating in our streets, the Brigandere, I think they're going to have a very long summer indeed. Which is why I would like to encourage you to reconsider joining. I know that they offer much, but you're putting yourself in great danger, which is your right, of course. But I think you can be more than just snakes in the... I try not to talk ill of other people's decisions, but I'm worried about
Some
the
people
city.
are objectively wrong. To speak ill of their decisions is not negative. It is, well, it speaks to your own choices, certainly. I have no intention of signing on personally with them, assuming that there's other work to be done.
Oh, there's always work to be done. Absolutely.
So your offer is still available?
She nods. Membership in the Grey Hands. Absolutely. It would be my pleasure to, not personally, I'm very busy, but to make sure that you're mentored properly, given opportunities to do good, to make change in Waterdeep for the better,
I mean, and I think it's clear that Rin is speaking like for herself. She hasn't looked back at the party a single time. In terms of like, you know, she's feel free to chime in, guys. Like, I don't want to railroad us here.
No, I want you to finish giving your thoughts. Then I might have some. I
just wanted to make that clear, obviously. And I say, well, to work with someone of your esteem would mean so much more than to dirty my hands in an underworld organization here in Waterdeep, certainly.
May I be blunt?
And she turns and looks at you and she says, I'm not sure you could be any other way, Makaria.
And she like smirks. And then she says, you seem to already know what type of person I am. So perhaps we should just part ways here. I have a hard time thinking you would enjoy my presence in your organization without trying to persuade me to worship other deities, perhaps.
Make no mistake, Makaria. You've sworn yourself to a god of darkness, a god of death, a murderer. Merkel has brought nothing but misery to this plane ever since he ascended to godhood. If you follow in his footsteps, only suffering will follow you. But that's your choice.
And what makes you think I want anything different?
She shakes her head, and she says, that disappoints me. But there's nothing I can do. Not about that.
So there's no offer other than to help me change my ways.
I think you're misguided, but it doesn't sound to me like you want to change. And I find that people who don't want to change, they're very hard to put on another path.
That was all I wanted to know. Thank you.
And she turns and looks at 8 and Jewel. What about the two of you?
Jewel looks like she was caught in headlights and
Yeah,
like half wants to hide behind 8.
Yeah, so when you react, she says, joining the Gray Hands will give you an opportunity to do bigger things than your name, Jewel. I see the shadow you're under, and I know you don't want to be there the rest of your life. Force Grey will give you an opportunity to change things, make a name for yourself.
I'm not interested in being famous or a hero.
Not famous.
But I am interested in interesting things. And I feel like Force Grey encounters a lot of those.
Sometimes to our detriment, but yes, it's not a boring life.
I like your offer. More interesting than cleaning up the streets, and she does it with like little air quotes, trying to make the world a better place, because the world is probably going to stay an awful place because there are people like me in it.
She's not really sure. Yeah, she's just like, huh. I mean, all right. Okay, we can work on you. That's fine. And so she turns.
You lock up one thief and they just break themselves out of jail.
It takes one to know one, I guess. So she turns to you, 8, and she says, "What about you, my foreign friend?"
I feel as if I am in a sort of rebellious phase with this newfound freedom. No idea what to do with it. I suppose the idea of being one who can change things, however I decide to do so, is appealing.
It's important for me that you know that your talent for bloodshed, we're going to have to temper some of that. I know what it is that you want most, and if you agree to join the Gray Hands, we're going to have to work on helping you get over that feeling.
Makaria like just stares down 8 like I fucking dare you to go with these goodies.
So the thing is here is like the Zentarum have made no such demands. Like if you want experience murdering, they will point you at their enemies, and you can be who you were crafted to be. She's offering you a more difficult opportunity. I'm excited for whatever decision you make. So
yeah, I mean same, but Makaria wants you to.
Oh yeah, like it would be cool
everything.
it'd be cool having 2 and 2, right? And also 8, you have a friend already. Like Yagra is a Zentarum. So yeah, it would be cool doing 2 and 2, or
I think may I, Dave, do a little role play here, or do you want to just like sort of make the decisions?
I'm looking at the traits and the ideals and the bonds and the force that I wrote.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's like this thing where Rin like looks back at you a little bit, in like sort of that way that we had the 2 of us on the street a little earlier, and says, just because you started one way doesn't mean you have to end the same way. We're all built how we're built, but that doesn't mean that it has to remain that same thing. To learn and grow is the freest experience you can have. To choose to try something that may be slightly more difficult is to choose improvement. To lean into what you already know is just to flex muscles that don't need help.
Reform is overrated.
And I think 8 makes up their mind. Actually, you see them like draw out the sword and the shield. If I was only meant to kill, why not just give me a bigger sword? And that's his answer.
Okay, cool. So yeah, if you want to, I don't know if the character sheet has a specific called out section. And actually this is great because this is like the end. This is the end of this chapter.
Oh shit. Okay.
So yeah, this chapter is predominantly like meeting your neighbors, kind of getting a handle for the situation, and then doing a couple of little like tasks for the various. Yeah, doing your first missions. So you can record your chosen faction now. You can always bail. You can always leave the faction. But let me look on your sheet and see if there is
allies and organizations probably.
Yeah. So you can
I set my level as level 2, but it still says Bard level 1 on the main sheet, so I'm not sure how to change that.
Hang on. I will mess around with your character sheet here.
So, like, just out of character, Zentarum are, like, most, like, evil leaning, right?
The Zentarum are the
mafia
faction. Okay, yeah, like I just wanted to be clear because, like, that's what I thought. Everyone else is like goody goody.
I think like Bane, Baal, and Merkel were all like members of the Zentarum at one point when they were human.
Okay, if I knew that, then I would 100% unswayably want to be.
I can't remember because I haven't read those books in like 20 years. But yeah, they're like they're bad dudes.
Grays, basically,
Force Grey is like adventurers.
Yeah, Force Grey is a mercenary company owned and operated by the Blackstaff, and tends to be like Waterdeep favored, right? Where it's they like. She cares a lot about the safety of Waterdeep, so it's less about like a particular alignment or anything, and more about
the kind of idea of
that's my thought. I'm not
like fighting is gonna happen. Like,
what's the opportunity?
Yeah.
Just like she feels really like I want to change you, and you've made a mistake in worshiping this evil dude. And I'm like,
no.
I actually was gonna try and talk to you as well, but I don't want to like be the person who just like tries to force people into stuff. So.
Yeah, I mean, my character, like for Jewel, everything's treasure. She likes, but for her, treasure's not about money, which is like the Zentarum. It's like it's
about interest.
Like, it's like gold coins are boring. A bag of teeth is exciting.
So everybody gets to join. So whatever your faction you join, mark that you have 1 renown with that faction.
Okay.
And the way this is set up is that occasionally throughout the adventure, I will call on you to join, like to do missions for your group. I think as players, we can assume that sometimes you'll help Makaria with Zentarum stuff, and Makaria will help with your Force Grey stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's
because basically, like the difference here is that if everybody were to join a different faction, you'd get to go on more different missions, right? Like this, I think that the intention of this adventure is that it's meant for replayability. So, like, if we played again,
we could all choose to be Lords Alliance,
right? You could do Lords Alliance and the Harpers, and then we
didn't even see the Harpers. Where are they?
So what the way this works, just to kind of pull the curtain back, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different factions.
What?
Yeah, and I'm told in the joining factions thing to be like, just pick the ones that you think would approach the characters. There are some that are limited by, or not limited by, but like the Emerald Enclave. You don't have Rangers or Druids.
Right. Yeah. They're not gonna care.
Yeah, you're all too shady for me to have been like, the Harpers are gonna like come out and do the thing.
Oh, come on. I could have been a Harper. No. I would have been the best Harper.
Maybe.
You had a conversation with an NPC early on, and someone was listening and was like, I don't think so. And so those are options you can do. And then, and then you get missions basically at every level available to you that I can call on as like extra content.
Can you join the Brigand Death?
You can, but someone has to be a drow. Someone has to be a drow.
So what if I had done a half drow? Would that have been enough?
I probably would have done a scene to like figure out, like, it would be dependent on your reaction to some stuff, because a half drow is like, are you like drow but like half human, or are you a human that's like kind of gray looking? Like, yeah.
That was one of my ideas when I was making this character. So
yeah, right. So that's an option. So the idea is that you pick your factions depend on your class and your race and your RP like choices, and then you pick a season. And so theoretically we could do like the winter version of this with all different PCs and different factions, and only the first three
would be different.
Only the first 3 chapters would be the same. Yeah. The same plot is there, but yeah, it's pretty neat and quite experimental for a D&D adventure, which is really
very
fun.
interesting.
Yeah, so
it's
we're
also
playing
kind of cool, like if you're a DM that has multiple groups, or if you're a DM in one group and then like a player in another group, you can still have the opportunity to play an adventure and see something different.
Yeah, it makes for really fun content, because if somebody is watching us play Waterdeep Dragon Heist, we are playing with 3 Force Grey characters and a Zentarium, and we're taking the summer path, but there's 3 other paths with different parties, so you could like watch multiple shows and compare and contrast, which I think is super cool. Yeah, so it's really neat. So the end of this chapter means you level up, so everybody goes to level 3.
Yes,
you level to level 3, and you get your 1 renown for each faction.
I love level 3.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that for Macaria to join the Zentarum, she just goes back to the Yawning Portal by herself, finds this dude, and like plops down, is like, and just like yeah.
Yeah.
That's super interesting.
That's
that
right.
coincides.
We get all of the shit.
Yeah, I pick now, and picking the one that I'm going to pick only makes sense after I just.
Yeah, that's so good.
Wait, what do you mean you pick?
I pick my fighter archetype.
Not to mention, Dave.
Yeah,
I'm also picking College of Lore after being like great Blackstaff. You know, like hang out with me.
Sick.
I mean, I could take the Arcane Trickster, but I don't have enough int for that.
do what you do.
I don't actually know what I want to do.
Yeah, there's so many good rogue
Oh,
archetypes.
but guess who sneak attack dice is 2d6?
Very nice.
I only got that at the very end of Ishi Snaggletooth's live because she's a multi-class.
Nice. Yeah, this is when you start being real characters. I was talking this morning during a different stream about how I think
second level spells.
And Dave, I think you were around during the stream for this. I was thinking the next time that I play D&D, I want to not assign alignment until everybody gets to level 3, and then let chat decide.
That would be awesome.
Let chat decide what everybody's alignment is.
Let's do that.
Yeah. So the next thing that we play, I think that's what I want to do. Like level 1 to 3, you don't have an alignment. You just play your character however you want. You feel the character out, and then chat can vote on what alignment they think everybody
I'm
is.
excited for that now.
Yeah. So I think that'd be really fun. Yeah. Yeah, cool. Okay. So let's get that sorted out. So
oh wait, who's rolling for hit points?
Is anybody gonna roll hit points?
Never again.
Shit.
Never again.
No, I didn't. I'm not rolling on. I didn't roll last time. I'm not gonna roll this time.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna.
Is it 1d8 for me? I got full last time, so
yeah,
it's
I think
true.
cleric's a D8. Okay, another 2 hit points.
Actually, you're slightly below average now. But...
15 plus 6 is 21. I'm not rolling. I'm going to take the average. I'm scared.
Yeah, I'll just take the flat 10.
Okay.
And then I'm not actually sure which roguish archetype I want. I need to go look at some of the Xanathar stuff too.
You want to chat about it? Because I know some of the rogue ones.
Yeah, so there were a few that let me actually look at the list of
Swashbuckler is pretty sweet if you want to do like one-on-one, like rapier stuff.
I think that's what Dan's new character is. No, that's no, she's a bard, a sword college bard.
Yeah, College of the Sword.
Yeah.
Yeah, Swashbuckler looked interesting because I also like Charisma's my second highest stat.
Swashbuckler is good for that then, yeah. For
and you dipped that with Ishi, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I was also thinking of doing.
Well, it gives you initiative bonus to like charisma right away. That's like super, super good. Plus the whole like getting to sneak attack people while you're not like when you're by yourself with them.
Yeah, that would definitely be nice. I mean, there's also like classic.
Dave, I can prepare continual flame.
Okay, nice.
Shit.
There you go. Save yourself some money.
Yeah, I'll give you a 50 gold for it. No?
Wait, you're gonna give me the gold for it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a.
Oh, it It has a component cost. Okay.
Yeah, 50 gold.
Ooh, I get to choose my expertise skills.
It's until dispelled. Oh yeah, so I could prepare it one day and then put it on whatever, and then it's you. Like you got it. So yeah, I'll do that. And you pay for the component.
Okay,
Yes.
but what about sleight of hand as a bonus action? I could just be like
the way you're playing
Yes.
Jewel, Thief makes sense.
Thief is a really solid pick.
What's interesting is that for this adventure, there's lots of stuff that'll be good that wouldn't necessarily be good in a more traditional adventure, right? Like leaning into being more like a Blades in the Dark character works better for Dragon Heist than it would for like the other.
Like what adventure would locate object ever be useful?
I have a climbing
Adventure of
speed. The
life.
second story work is the thief ability,
It gives you a climbing speed,
which you climb faster than normal. You climbing no longer costs you extra movement. So do I get anything from that other than like an extra 10 feet of
having
climbing?
a climbing speed means you don't you already have it. Yeah, that's
I
true.
would get the distance cover increases by number of feet equal to dexterity modifier when I jump, but I wouldn't get.
Yeah.
I would get an extra 10 feet of climbing.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I mean, you don't have to decide right now. We just have we have the time to kind of
I'm very excited by it.
Yeah. So for you, Blue Jay, your clerics don't decide anything at level 3, right? You just get
No, I just get level 2 spells.
Okay.
And there's nothing in my like domain that I get.
And as far as like the legal stuff that we're using, stuff that we can use in the campaign, obviously any of the printed books, so Sword Coast, Player's Handbook, Xanathar's, Volos, like all that stuff. Any of those options are available. And then there are a couple of like guild ones that are like sort of more official, like the Eberron one and the Xanathar's Lost Notes. Those ones we've been pulling from.
I can marry you guys. If you want to get married, I can do that.
Hey.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them. There's like Mastermind and Scout.
That's real good.
Scout's a like kind of a ranged one where you get sort of free movement away from things and like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's all kind of like run away and shoot. Yeah, I mean, Assassin is the typical like I'm gonna do a lot of sneak attack damage to you choice.
Assassin is like the combat.
They have to have not
option.
taken turns.
Yeah,
which isn't super helpful if you're only fighting one or two things.
Yeah.
Might take silence just for the amount of times I want these NPCs to shut the fuck
Be
up.
quiet.
That's. I mean, it's a good ability. It
Also,
shuts down
silence will
spellcasters.
actually muffle footsteps and stuff.
Yeah.
It is the same as I remember it. So for thievery, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I get another first level and then 2 second levels.
I mean, the rakish audacity is pretty nice. The being able to use your sneak attack as long as there's nothing within 5 feet of it.
Right, that's the swashbuckler one.
Rakish audacity is real good. Yeah. I didn't find a lot of ways to use it on Ishi, but I imagine you would have a lot more.
Yeah, because you don't need advantage on the attack roll to use your sneak attack against a creature if you are within 5 feet of it. No other creatures are within 5 feet of you, and you don't have disadvantage on the attack roll.
I will be trying to stay next to you as much as possible.
Yeah, I assume that doesn't cancel out with the other part of sneak attack, where if something else, so I could stand next to.
Oh yeah, no, it's supplemental. It wouldn't take anything away. Yeah,
because like it doesn't disappear suddenly if I'm within 5 feet of something.
Oh, I know what my first level spell is gonna be. I'm so good. I'm gonna take that speak with animals. I'm gonna talk to my raven friend.
Yeah, and then the raven can finally be like, "Here's the thing I was trying to tell you about earlier."
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Cool. Yeah, I mean, we don't have to make like every decision now, but what do you, Makaria? What do you get at level 3?
I just get more spells.
What domain are you?
Grave.
Oh yeah, that's right. You took Grave, not Death. Okay.
Yeah, cool. I was considering Death, but Grave has the bonus action Spare the Dying at range, and that's really good.
Yes. Yeah.
So Death is not quite as good.
I feel like scout is less useful in a city. I'm not going to make as many nature and survival checks.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah. And you have a house.
And I have a house.
Okay. Well, any last minute stuff, making those decisions, we'll do in between sessions. We've actually got a little extra time this week because 3 of us are not going to be available for next week, and then we'll be back on the 19th, I think, for our next episode. If you heard, this is your first episode you caught, this is a great opportunity to catch up. I know Roll20 is going to be running some like reviews. We might do a little marathon of the first 4 episodes, so you can go check that out. But we will be back mid-October with more of the show. We're gonna do chapter 3, Fireball. That's the name of the chapter.
Oh,
it's
shit.
just called Fireball.
That's
the greatest adventure ever.
Chapter 3, Malik. So so tune in October 19th for that. We'll be back live, and then obviously if you're watching this on YouTube, it's probably up already, unless it's not then yet. So check it out. Let's say our goodbyes. I'm gonna start this time over here with Blue Jay. Blue Jay, tell us about you.
Hi, I'm Blue Jay, and I am a Sagittarius, and so, I'm so funny. You can find me on twitch.tv/bluejay or on Twitter at bluejay_712, just like it says like over here. And you can also find all the roleplay stuff I'm doing or have done at bluejay.tv/portfolio.
Cool. Thank you, Blue Jay. Good robot boy Dave.
Yeah.
It's your turn. Do it.
Great. Yeah, I'm super loving this. It's the highlight of my week. So thank you everybody else who's coming along and watching and keeping us company for this. If you'd like to find my stuff, I'm on Twitter at @Dave_the_human. And I'm on Twitch now a bit more regularly at Dave_human.
Fantastic. Yeah. I watched you stream some Dragon Quest the other day. The accents in that game are great. Cool. Down over here, it's Random Tuesday with the new haircut.
Oh, hi. I am Random Tuesday, and I have a new haircut. You can find me on the internet at Random Tuesday, where I would post pictures of my new haircut when I get them. That's the thing I do. You can also find me in my other RPG homes. I'm going to be starting a Stargate SG-1 based.
Oh my god, I saw the promo gifts for that. They're so good. Yeah. I didn't know Maggie was in it. She's great.
Yeah, I'm very excited. It's going to be ridiculous and cheesy, and also hopefully full of feelings, as I enjoy. And then next week, because I'm not here, or part of the reason I'm not here, I will be on Geek and Sundry running Weave Society on Wednesday night. Hopefully.
Cool.
I mean, nothing goes horribly wrong.
That's exciting. We'll have a safe trip and enjoy. Last but not least, the Distracted Elf.
Hello, friends. I'm Distracted Elf. You can find me at twitch.tv/DistractedElf or on Twitter at DistractedElf, where I am probably going to be talking about what the fuck I'm going to do with this bard for the next week while I play Pathfinder Kingmaker and World of Warcraft.
Nice. Excellent. Cool. Well, that's our show. Thanks for coming, everybody. I have been the Dungeon Master, Adam Coble. I'll likely continue to be Adam Coble hereafter, but who knows? You can find me on twitch.tv/Adam Coble or on Twitter at Skinny Ghost. I would encourage you to play role-playing games. That would be the thing that I would say. Go do that because it's friggin' fun. So check it out. Roll20.net. Play role-playing games. Do it. You can play this one or a different one. I don't personally care. That'll be it for the next 2 weeks. You can find all of our back stuff. This show, the show that came before it, if you want to watch us play through 99% of Tomb of Annihilation, you can do that on our YouTube page, MSRoll20 down there. That's it for us. We are done. Thank you for coming. We'll see you next time. Bye, friends. This stream is brought to you by Roll20, an easy-to-use virtual tabletop dedicated to making tabletop RPGs accessible to everyone. Join the adventuring party at roll20.net.